dialed in to Box and Brews, you might hear something you can use. Like tips on your cash or tips on the suds. You're gonna want to use the smarts of these stuff. Cause they know the brews, and they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks. So listen up, cause shit's not funny. And save yourself some beer money. Bucks and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and brews.
Bucks and Brews.
All right, welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Nick, you're getting good at this. This is 3 in a week, basically.
Yeah,
It's Tuesday. We did last Monday, last Wednesday, and now tonight.
we're doing pretty all right.
And
So,
I'm again with the non-alcoholic variety.
yeah,
I have from Deschutes Black Butte.
all right.
I have a Heineken 0.0, and I have a Paulaner Weissen Radler that has lemon in it. So I'm being good tonight. I promised my wife I would come home not drunk,
Let's see.
which is new for me.
And we came down here to our special guest site location,
Yes.
and we stopped at the liquor store, and I happened to pull up some cider boys along with some gummy worms and some beef jerky and anything else I could find at the checkout stand.
So I lived in Plainwell 18 years,
Yeah.
and that was the first time I've ever been to third base.
Oh wow. And you have a kid,
First
right?
time.
You have a kid, right?
I do.
My grandparents used to own them.
Did they really? So
My it would have been the Laytons, like my mom's.
What was her name?
The Laytons.
Ralph Layton.
My mom and dad, but no. What was it called when they owned
I
it?
don't remember what it was called, but it was basically that same building.
Well, it used to be called the Bonnie Dell.
That was a long time ago.
That
Then
was
it
a long
Well,
was,
that would have probably been because it was a long time
That's
ago.
what it used to be called, was the Bonnie Dell.
And that might have been what it was called when my grandparents owned it.
Yeah, that was my first time. Great selection.
So
I
as
haven't
you
been
hear,
there in years.
Great selection.
we're joined by quite a few guests.
We are.
Mike.
Eye candy's here.
The eye candy's here, not on camera.
Not on camera.
What do you have?
I have basically a lot of cider boys too. It's a kind of a tropical pack, so summer pack. So it's got a blueberry, like a passion fruit guava, pina colada one, so a few different ones.
Okay, I'm raising my hand.
Go ahead.
Give on.
You guys get a kickback from
No.
mentioning
No.
all these beers on your,
We hope
That's
that
our goal.
we hope that the more we mention them,
I
the
see that.
better
Okay,
chance.
then
The
let's
more
go,
they tag them on.
then let's go to liquor.
Okay, so we're are joined by very special guests. First, Yvonne Henderson, who's one of my absolute favorite people of all time. Yvonne, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Jameson on
Yes,
the rocks.
I
So maybe Mr. Jameson will kick in some.
I should have known that because in the back of my vehicle right now are about 18 Jameson bottles.
Or the other 18 Crown Royal.
There are several Crown Royal in there as well.
All right, that's what
It is. I have not gotten bottles for quite a
Let's
while.
qualify that and say this is several months.
This is a few years worth of drinking, and there's 2 dollars.
I'm not gonna lie about it, it's several.
And of course, one of my favorite people as well, back for his second visit to Bucks and Brews, Mr. Steve Henderson.
kids,
So last time we had Steve on, Mike and I talked to Steve about the old days, and Nick had 8 million questions to ask, and we didn't let him ask any of them. So this time, I'm a little more prepared. I actually have some real business questions.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, we still need to know what Steve is drinking, and he had a story for us.
He does.
legendary brown wine.
I don't know what to say.
Now, in case you missed the last time, it's made the main ingredient.
It's Crown Royal.
Yes. There's somebody was paying attention.
Somebody.
And a little bit of 7-Up.
Ice and either squirt or 7-Up.
Figure
Splash.
And if this were a video, you could see behind David is a quilt.
It's Crown Royal.
That's Crown Royal.
Crown Royal.
If I would have known this, I would have gotten Steve a Crown Royal mask for when COVID hit. People were making those.
I will say Steve is very disappointed today because the drink girl is not here to make the drinks.
That's true.
I just can't believe she's not here, but we're gonna gonna forge on ahead without it.
And so we're gonna start this episode because you have a story that you're gonna tell me about a good shot story.
Okay,
And since we're talking about our drinks, let's talk about a shot.
Might as well.
our favorite bar, our home bar, is just down the way here. And there's no reason why I can't.
No, absolutely. Give him a
Okay,
shout out.
Orangeville Tavern.
Okay. Formerly known
Oh,
as
yeah.
Orangeville Tavern.
Yeah, wait.
Now it is called the Gun River Inn.
Yeah.
Little class
Sorry,
has been
Susie.
added
Mm.
to it, but Gun River Inn, it's called now. But in our day, it was the Orangeville
It will
Tavern.
always be the Orangeville Tavern to
Yes.
me.
Go.
Kind of like the Sears Tower.
OVT, that's what we call
One of the 2 bars that I ever got thrown out of in my life. I just want to make sure everybody knows it was all just a big misunderstanding. Now, the other place I got thrown out of was a Green Top downtown Kalamazoo.
I'm amazed anybody could get thrown out of there.
That seemed to be some sort of a misunderstanding also, but nevertheless. But my wife and I were at Orangeville Tavern one night. I think she was with me. But anyhow, it has room at the bar for 8 people. And we went in there, and I'll tell you what, those people are so good and so gracious. We walked in there, they just happened to be doing shots. They said, come on, you're in here with us. We were there for a half an hour, and we drank 8 shots.
Where everybody knows your name.
Well, at the end of each shots, nobody knew your name, but it didn't matter.
They didn't know their own.
We only really see beer on that one.
Sounded like my trip to Wisconsin.
That's our hometown.
Yeah.
Everybody knows our name.
But anyhow, I just want to say that is a great bar. It always used to be a little rough.
That's
One
why they
little
changed the name.
misunderstanding.
There's still bullet holes in
Yeah.
I will say, I have only ever been kicked out of one bar.
them.
Which one was that?
The intersection up in Grand Rapids. It seems you're not allowed to fall asleep on the table. When you do that, they kick your ass right on out.
So you
Oh,
get cut off at Woody's just a
Overserved.
handful of.
I did get cut off at Woody's a few weeks ago, and then people decided, hey, let's go drinking elsewhere. And
Always a good
that was a
choice.
bad night.
Is that what you call, is getting cut off and getting kicked out the same thing to you people?
No, I got kicked out of the intersection. I got cut off.
Listen, I'm not sure I've ever been kicked out of place.
I almost got kicked out of
I mean-
Airway Lanes up in Portage.
Oh,
I had to drive
yeah.
a bit.
You were belligerent.
Water that day.
You were belligerent, weren't you?
A
A little bit, yeah.
I did. Well, I wasn't necessarily belligerent, but I did some things that you'd only expect drunk people to do. Well, those are the kind of things that I often do. So
I will say, Nick, it's not necessarily that I got kicked out. It was he needs to wake up or he needs to get the hell out because he is not allowed to sleep on the table.
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
So
They're in fear of being accused of overserving.
yeah, so Dawn decided, let's go home.
No, they're not. You took up a seat where somebody could be buying a drink.
Oh,
That too.
okay.
so
Yeah, that,
15, 20 years ago, there was a park. I don't even know what it was called. It was at the corner of Millum and West. Before that, it was like a Walgreens era.
Yeah.
And everything else. And I mean, I didn't get. I had to accompany a friend that got kicked out because he was peeing on the side of the building. They went to me and they're like, "You seem to be the most like hit here, so you need to get him."
Was he inside or outside?
He was outside.
Hey, I mean, at least he was outside.
He went out for smoke and then he decided to pee on the building.
But I would have.
I mean,
Gotta go, you gotta go.
it kind of, yeah.
Hey, you want to pee my pants? That's not fun.
So before we ramp up into this, Nick,
Yeah,
you should tell us because Steve listens to every episode we do
yeah,
because he knows how to find them all.
of course.
You should tell him about your bar tab.
So you guys are some liquor drinkers.
Sophisticated drinkers.
Yeah, of course, right?
I wouldn't say that.
Well, so I had to go on a little emergency trip to pick my mom up to Wisconsin last week or the week before that, whatever it was. And I'm visiting hours are over, so I go to the bar. And I get to a bar and I walk in, I order a tall Bud Light, and the bartender looks at me and she goes, if by tall Bud Light you mean a bottle of Bud Light, here you go. So, and then I look at their bourbons, and they have some Eagle Rare, they have some Larceny, they have a couple bottles of Pappy Van Winkle, they have say, and so right, Blanton's. So I order all of it. Just
You had
there's
the urge to try them all.
I did. There's 4 shots of Blanton's left, and I wanted the topper of it. And she goes, "Oh, there's a little left." And I was like, "I don't care, just take it." And so she pours it, and the Pappy was a 10-year and a 12-year, and she said the owners of he's a big bourbon fan. She said, "Come back in the morning, and he might share his 20 and 25-year with you." It's in the back. He wasn't there in the next morning. Granted, I was in no condition at that point. But let's say, I had myself a few drinks, and when it was all said and done for the night, when I went bar hopping with some locals, because that's what you do when you're in a small town, I ended up getting my bar tab, and it was $26.
What?
Yep.
That's the way Wisconsin is.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
was wonderful. I triple checked. As sober as I was, I made sure I triple checked. I was paying my entire bar tab for everything that I drank.
Nick, how much did you tip?
About $50.
Well,
Yeah.
I still think you were under.
I was
the
very.
total.
Oh, if I had to put, if we were talking about it, if I bought those in Grand Rapids, the 10-year of Pappy they want $400 for. The 12-year
A
of
shot?
Pappy, yep, in Grand Rapids.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Pappy is very expensive.
Yep. And
That's why we've never heard of it.
So Nick shared a video with me once on TikTok of this husband and wife, and she mixed herself a drink, and it was the last
cookies.
Yeah. Oh, was it cookies?
she made
Oh my
cookies.
God, she made whiskey chocolate chip cookies
Yes.
Well,
with Pappy Van Winkle.
Ooh.
And her husband tastes it, and he's like, "Oh my God, these are great. Where did you get the liquor for this?" Oh, I just emptied that little bottle. I mean, you only had a few sips in that little bottle. I just emptied that one out. And he lost it. She's like, "What? It tastes great." He goes, "It should. They're like $10,000 cookies."
That's funny.
Yeah. No, I mean, on the nobody could ever find it, for regular price. It's it's cheap, but if you were to buy it from someplace that knows what they're doing, it's a $2,500 bottle
So,
just for the 10-year.
so where's Pappy's? Is it a Tennessee bourbon?
Yep,
Is it a
yep.
Kentucky bourbon?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yep. So.
Not bourbon, it's from Kentucky.
she's from Kentucky. That's where her family.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yep. And then so I also had some Weller, which was great. I had myself a very fine time for about $1 a drink.
Oh my gosh.
And I knew what I was doing, and I was regretting putting my debit card out there, but I was okay with it. And when I got my bar tab, I switched to cash and just said, "Here you go."
Wow. That's a
Wisconsin is a great state.
Yeah.
And so is the UP of Michigan.
They have good cheese.
Very similar.
Oh, see, I don't know. I found my alcohol in the UP to be expensive for some reason. It's
Compared to that.
no.
Yeah.
I told them. I said I will gladly buy a plane ticket once a week to fly out to Wisconsin to drink here for those prices and fly back home, and I'll still have a cheaper tab.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was a wonderful time. Holy cow! I have service.
Is this a scam call?
No, it is not.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh,
Hello, Nick.
do you guys answer the
Hey,
scam
when we
calls?
get a
and
scam
shit
call,
back?
We do it on air.
Oh, let's-
Thank
I
you,
wish
sir.
I'd
We
known.
do. We do it on air because we had a guy call Wednesday, and I think he was selling life insurance.
Oh, that's funny.
And
Senior citizen, like.
yeah, because Nick's definitely a senior citizen. And Nick's biggest mistake was he goes, "Hey, this is Nick. You're on the air."
No. Right here, here's the guy
Yeah.
you want to fuck with.
You can say
You can say fuck. We'll say fuck all the time.
To fuck with spam calls.
FCC is gonna be
Right
here in about
Won't
10
let me be.
Well,
When you hear the helicopter fly over, you're like, oh,
We're not-
yeah, Nick's just basically sitting there telling you, yeah, we're on air. Tell us about yourself. Well, I'm trying to do my job. Well, yeah, tell us about your job. What do you? And Nick talked to him for a good 45 seconds before he's like, yeah, I gotta go buy Click. Next time, Nick, don't tell him you're on air. Just say, hey, tell me about yourself. Let's see
No,
where we
well,
go.
I'm gonna use that trick next time I answer.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on the air.
Yep. It was great.
It was a lot of.
Just over there laughing, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be fun. No, tell everybody here what you're doing.
We had decided to put up any on Monday because Nick got a call right before we hit record, and they were trying to sell him life insurance.
Oh, I love
And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, tell me about it. So, the guy's talking for a minute, and I go, hey, I got a question. And they go, yeah, what's your question? I said, I buy life insurance after I'm dead because that's the kind I want. And they just kind of sat there for 10, 15 seconds, and they go, click.
Goodbye.
I thought it was a legit question.
I do too.
I really wanted to know. So,
Hey,
Nick, did you want to start with questions, or because I know you had a lot of things you never got to get to, or do I need to start with some questions to jog your memory?
I mean, so we have a million questions about business. So, Steve, you were a builder / handyman / company owner, right? I mean, the man of many trades and never mastered a single one, right? So,
No, I mastered the one where I told everybody what to do.
oh,
That's the most important thing.
that's why you made the most money.
No,
Right?
no. Let me reiterate. He mastered the one where he could bullshit his way into customers' hearts. And that's what he did. He was a salesman. And that's what he did.
Yeah, peanuts to an elephant, and yeah, I can see that on you, Steve.
Especially to the little old ladies of the world.
Yeah,
Hey,
They
Robin
loved
and Blind, huh?
They loved him.
that's one thing. Okay, Yvonne was in business with me too, as well as our son. That's one thing I never did. I never charged anybody, any one person, any different than the other.
Yep.
Charged them all the same. Now, once in a while, someone was a real asshole. We did put in an amount.
Yeah. Did you write it on the receipt too?
Nah,
That's too bad. I would have.
No, we used
we just took the money and went right to the bar.
Yeah. Say there you go.
the word was called overhead and profit.
You know, because that was
Well,
their
yeah,
whole
but still,
thing.
that was the asshole quotient. That's
But-
where it came in. But no. Steve was the salesman in the business. He always was, besides being a pretty talented earner in his day. But his sales skills, he could
Long time ago.
have sold ice to an Eskimo. Put it that way. I know that's really stupid thing to
No,
say, but
it's a
it's
true
the
thing.
truth. It's the truth.
Why? Because the ice that we have, right? It's clear ice. You can see through this ice. There's no
See all the
No,
imperfections.
exactly. There's no defects in our ice. That ice right there, it's cloudy and has defects. Oh yeah.
Well, it does.
I've
I get it.
always said, it doesn't matter what it is, give me the best of any product and I can sell it.
Of course.
But you always want to stick with the best. That's what you want.
And we have a reputation in this town, in this area that we live in, always have had. And,
There's a lot of people are laughing their asses.
well, they probably are, but
Best ratings.
But the proof in the pudding is the fact that with the return business
Yep.
that we've had from former customers, their children call us.
Yeah. Let's see.
You know, I mean, we've been in business that long that the children call us.
Did
And
she just call me an old fuck?
Yeah,
Did I
I did.
misunderstand?
no, I did.
I'm not really sure I can understand what was just happening there, but
We probably should just let that go.
let's say we'll skip over that one.
Anyway, so that's,
No, that's
be honest, give a good product.
Oh.
Your product is good. That's all that needs to be said.
so I went and seen a tenant today who, it's funny because, my office doesn't love her and she's kind of a pain in the butt, but I showed up there with a big smile on my face. And right when I walk out of the car, I said, how's the business going, right? How's t-shirts going? And she's like, oh, it's great. And she makes these custom sandals with bedazzles. And then we just start talking because I own a t-shirt and I was like, oh, did you go to One Stop? Yeah, I did. I love this. No, did you get your vinyl from here? Oh, I forgot about that. And so I mean, really, like, she was completely just relaxed, no problems, no issues.
Because you have a rapport with her.
Oh,
You're
it's-
having a rapport.
And you know, my whole office can't stand her. And I'm sitting here just going, oh man, I'm gonna shoot the shit for an hour and say, and you know, it was at the end of it, she was very happy. She's excited because she fell back into the business. And we were talking. She goes, you know, I'd give her what I would call my own business advice, right? And she's like, yeah, it's something where, you know, I messed something up or I missed a deadline, so we'll give them $5 off here. And I said, you know, $5 off here, $10 off here. And I was like, no, you never take money off. And the best part for me was, you know, as the landlord aspect, I said, it's kind of like being a landlord, right? When a tenant wants a discount on rent for something that didn't happen, right? It was like, that's a slap in the face. And she goes, yeah, I can see that. And I was like, you know what you do? You offer them a 25% off coupon, right? And she goes, oh, then they come back. And I was like, exactly. It didn't cost you money. You've actually made more money. And then after that one, you know what you do? You give them a, hey, thanks for being a returning customer. Here's 10% off your next order, right? And I was like, now you've got 3 orders out of these damn people. They're excited. You're excited. And now you have a lifelong customer. And she goes, that's so great. And I was like, you don't have to give the discount right away. You give the discount for coming back, right? You give the discount for understanding that, hey, these types of things
You don't
happen.
give the discount for nothing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? And so she's like, oh, that's such good advice. And I was like, look, that first one's free. The rest of it, you're going to have to listen to the podcast here. And say,
Always
So-
plugging we are.
well, that's, you know, I showed her my keychain. And I was like, because she's like, oh, I need business cards. So you've been in business 8 months and don't have cards yet? I was like,
Lord.
Vistaprint, Staples, go on, figure out what you want to do. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know, it's $10. $10, and if you don't have,
Exactly.
if you're not handing out business cards like they're candy, especially being a startup company, you're doing it wrong.
That's the
Yeah.
cheapest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Is business cards.
Exactly. I mean, no matter what you have, I don't care if you're selling world's finest chocolate. Buy business cards because they're $10 for 500 of them, and if you get one sale off of that, granted, world's finest, you have to get 10 sales, but you know, if you sell one thing on most business, you've made your money back instantly for that. Plus, you profited. Plus, you've made, you know, like
Yes.
it's just so much to it. Like business cards are so cheap, and yes, most. I don't care if it's 99% of people put it in their pocket, throw it away, do whatever. It's that 1% that literally matters.
I think you go right with kind of what you said about, you know, giving the discounts to your
Mhm.
because I think in every business they basically say it's cheaper to keep an existing customer than it is to find a new.
Exactly it.
Well, and that existing customer spreads the word.
Yes.
I mean, that's where business comes in, is the word of mouth.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that is what our business has always been based on, is word of mouth. And you don't get that word of mouth unless you're worth the word of mouth.
Well, and so now we're gonna skip past everything. I'm gonna go straight to the final. So Steve, you're retired. Ron, you're retired.
Yes.
So now, why are you not getting spiffs or kickbacks from people that you're referring, people who still call you? Why haven't you put that fee in there?
Well, actually,
Actually, there we go.
It
Steve
depends on what it is.
Steve still has his fingers in his subs.
Oh, do you?
So the fingers are still there
Good.
with the
Wow.
subs. I mean, if Steve, and he does, refers, because old customers still call us,
Of course.
whether we're retired or not.
But we don't do that with old customers.
No.
It's new customers.
But if he recommends one of our subs that are fabulous, we have fabulous subs, they give him a kickback.
Oh, that's great, and that's how it, you know,
That's how the world rolls, right?
and it's how it should be in this business. You know, I hold the knowledge, right, and that's worth something.
Exactly.
You know, I was somebody got mad at me the other day because I gave them a person with money, right? And okay, the money cost them 10%. It cost them some points, and they got mad because I put a 2% fee on that, and they're like, "Oh, what's this 2% fee?" And it came to me. I told them it's going to cost them right ahead of time. And granted, they thought it was going to be a beer, or they thought it was going to be tacos or something, which it was way more. But they're like, "Why am I giving you this?" And I was like, "Well, well, I'm already paying $100,000 for the house. And I was like, you wouldn't have that $100,000 house that's worth $250,000 because you don't have the money, and I found you the money. I was like, I did all the work for you. You had to make one phone call because guess what? I know the person, and now you know them. You're going to pay that fee one time, and now you can use them a million times.
Mhm.
Right? I'm not charging you every single time. I'm not doing this every time. It's a hey, you know what? I need to protect what I have for knowledge because I'm starting to learn my wealth. Like my value is worth so much to people, you know. And for the longest time in my life, I didn't know I had value. And then, like, I had a guy today. He's like, "Hey, Nick, I'm really hoping you can bail me out." I was like, "Yep, what is? Oh, I need a plumber." Well, you know, here's my plumber. I'm not going to get a kickback, but I also know that that guy has sold me a house. Right? So I'll give him almost everything because he's already made my money, right? He sold me the $100,000 house for $250,000.
So we got a message the other day from a lady who wants to open up a rage room in Hastings.
Yeah.
Dawn and I are talking, and she goes, "Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence, but I told her, you know, for a consulting fee, I'll help out."
Works.
And I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "Plus Hastings is a ways." I'm like, "Yeah, it's about 45 minutes." And she goes, "Oh, that's closer than I was thinking. I don't want to do this." I said, "Well, here's the deal. She's going to open it anyways. You might as well make some money off of her opening it." And Dawn goes, "Yeah, that's a point to it." I said, "In all honesty, because you know there's all these websites out there that say you can open up a rage room for $3,000. Maybe we need to start a rage room consulting business where they can pay you to consult on how to open up a successful business."
Exactly.
Well, that's
Have
Yeah.
you ever
Exactly.
mentioned that?
You have absolutely mentioned that, yes.
and you have to look at
Yes.
that.
That's 2% right there.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I mean, you know, you look at that, and you know, the thing that I'll tell you, right, is Dawn's looking at it from the picture of she's never done it. Now, Steve, you've been in this forever. How many times have you? I mean, how many times has somebody called you and said, "Hey, I need a light changed," and you're like, "Look, you can change your own light bulb. You don't want to pay me $50 to come change it, right?"
I've
Oh.
said that to people, and a lot of them, they just don't care.
That's exactly it, right? And so the thing is like, again,
I'll
Dawn,
pay the 50. Hang out.
Dawn can tell people, you know, I tell people all the time how to buy real estate. I tell people how to find money. I tell people I give away so much free knowledge. And it's funny because my whole career, I've, you know, people are like, you know what, like I quit wasting my time because people don't ever do anything with it. It's that 1% that might. And, you know, it's really, it's 1 to 2% that are actually going to take what you say and actually go do something with it. 98% are just listening, and they don't ever actually take action. No, I mean, you know, I get so tired of, hey, you know what? I call a tenant, right? And they're like, hey, my light above my stove doesn't work. And I was like, is there a light bulb? Yeah, of course. My contractor gets over there, there's no light bulb. And I was like, I'm charging that $50. And they're, well, why? And I was like, because I asked you if there was a light bulb. You told me yes, and there isn't one. And again, it wasn't an issue that I should have fixed. It was an issue you could have, and any person in the world could do it. My 6-year-old just grabbed a spatula off the counter, so I know she can officially reach that light bulb too. So,
Well, Steven said something earlier, you know, give him the best product, you can sell it to anybody.
Mhm.
So this actually came from my wife. So obviously we see lumber prices are, you know, they went out of control for a while. They're coming back down a little. And, you know, obviously you're lucky because you're not doing this on a daily basis, obviously, anymore. And Dawn's a part of a lot of these business groups, and they're like, I don't know what to do. If I cut quality, I'm not putting out something I like. If I charge more, they're getting mad that I'm charging more. And she kind of wanted to know how you would handle that.
If you're a business, let's just say you're in business and you're having trouble, cutting back in quality is the very last place back on. Give more service, give better quality or as good a quality stuff as you've been given. The price, I mean, you can only do what you can do. And if you can't make money, it's not necessarily your fault. But
The biggest take here is to be honest. To be honest with the people. Listen, I can quote you because I've looked it up. I can quote you the price of this material, and this is why I have to charge what I'm charging. I mean, that's the biggest deal. And if you can show them in paper if they need to prove. You just be honest with them and don't try to hornswoggle someone. Just be honest. That is the biggest thing you can do.
Well, when we started out, we had nothing, we knew nothing. All we had was just our own ability for hard work and stuff. Our families.
I'm gonna tell a silly little story, but I
Okay.
just think it's really significant. When we started the construction business, our Brent, you know our
Yeah.
Brent, he's a little bit older than you are, David,
bet.
but was just a little guy, and all we had. What did we have at the time? I don't even know what. I don't even know. Yeah, maybe it was the Buick Skylark.
1970. That was my work truck.
That he used the trunk to put his tool. No, but this is when we lived on Main Street, where I'm going. Did we have it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I had a bicycle, and I had a little kiddie seat on the back that I would put Brent in on the back, ride my bike to Harding's, and wrote a check for the little girl, and I had a basket, so I had to bring my groceries back. Wrote a check for the groceries that I wasn't sure was gonna clear.
Because it took 3 days for a check to get through.
And that was a good thing back then. So I mean, that is how we started on a shoestring out of the trunk of a Buick Skylark, starting our business. And it worked. It worked because Steve found that that's his niche. That was it. He was good at carpentry. He was good
I loved it.
people.
Still do.
And that, I think, no matter what business you go into, it's having a passion. I know that's a cliche word that everybody says, but it's the truth. You gotta love what you're doing and love being with people if that's your business. And business is business with people. There's no getting around it. However you deal with it. But that was our beginning, and here we are today.
And we were lucky we always did business with other good reputable people.
Yeah.
Not everybody was, but 90% of them were.
Well, that's the biggest key that I find, right, is you associate with the reputable people.
Yes.
And you can ask the office that I work for. I'm a stubborn asshole because, right, they'll question me. Oh, I use a company called Cherry Valley Plumbing and Electric, right, out there in Hastings. And they're like, oh, when are they going to get out here and do that? How come they're not following it up? And I'm like, number one, never question my company because they've never once let us down. Mm-hmm. If you ever find a time that they go, well, is the drywall done? Make the phone call. Well, we should know that. No, we shouldn't, right? We should get a bill that says this is done. This is what it is. If you have a question after that, then come to me, right? But but the people that I work with, they don't think this way. They treat everybody as,
because they don't know.
Not at all.
They
right?
don't know the business. No. And that's
you talk about having a passion for it. Do I have I think your passion can burn out as well, but I was drinking with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law the other day.
That never happens.
No, never. And who would you get? But I was drinking some old fashions, or a few in, and my sister-in-law goes, "Oh, this lamp, we can't get the light bulb.
You're gonna make me an old fashioned before this is over.
This ain't good."
All right.
She's like, "The light bulb broke. I can't get it out." Whatever. Like I can get that. My wife's like, grab a potato, and I was like, I've never gotten a potato to work. Like, have you tried it though?
Yep.
I've tried it. I've never got it to work. So
Needle-nose
that's
pliers.
exactly what I did. I was like, just give me some damn needle-nose pliers. I'm gonna take it.
Okay. Unplug the lamp first.
Right, of course. Just say I twisted it up, and then all of a sudden she goes, light works. She goes, oh, maybe you could do the hallway light.
Oh, good.
And I was like, what's wrong with the hallway light? She it doesn't work. I was like, give me your voltmeter. Like, let's test it. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't want to do this because you don't have a light. They're like, hold on, we have a light that we're supposed to put in the closet. Here you go. And I was like, okay. I take the light down. The wires are actually, they're actually the heat sealed shrink tubing. They're kind of heat.
Oh.
They're together. So all right, no big deal. I cut the wire. My brother-in-law's over here. He's spending 10 minutes looking for wire cutters. And I was like, just give me a damn knife. And it was a solid wire, so I was really excited. It wasn't that frayed stuff. And so I got a solid wire. And I was like, that's really nice. Like, cut that back, grab a knife, cut. And I was like, all right, you're gonna learn how to do this. We're having fun. And he's like, okay. I was like, hey, put this wire to this wire, put this wire to this wire, line these two up, make sure your mesh is there, slide it in, screw this up. And he goes, oh, make sure you tape around it. And he goes, that was quick. And I go, yeah, it's not hard. Like, you just gotta enjoy it. Like, and he goes, all right, we're gonna do the closet one next. And I was like, give another light. He goes, no. He goes, tomorrow. I said, well, as long as it drinks up water, we'll do a second light. But if I have a tenant that needs a light, and it's been so long, it's just the tenant's a pain in the butt. I'm like, look, I'll do it when you're not home because I don't have to listen to you talk. But the fun. I mean, I know what to do. I've done it a million times.
Yeah.
But if a tenant's sitting there watching, it just becomes a big problem.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. We didn't know any better. All we knew is what we knew.
Oh,
What our parents taught us. They all hooked us up with good people, and
when did you start?
I actually started. This is where I think I started. Be back when I was 14 years old, I think, maybe 13. We'll say 14. My godparents owned the hardware store downtown Plainville.
Okay.
Gore's Sale. So they brought me in to just be good to me. And I helped them, did stuff, but then they got me into waiting on customers, and that was it. That's where I really started. I love talking to people.
I would have never guessed that either. It's funny because when I've needed something done and it was something you didn't do, I always knew who to call because you'll give me somebody. Like when I needed the roof done a few years ago, and you're like, yeah, I can't do roofs anymore. And I'm like, that's fine. Who do you got? And you sent me Spencer.
Yeah.
And he came and did a great job. And I remember you calling me and you're like, there's going to be nails in the driveway. They do a good job picking them up. There's going to be some. I never found one nail in the driveway because they were all on my porch.
Your porch caught him.
My porch caught him.
Porch caught him. But I've said this before, we have great subs. Steve made a point of making sure, because that's the backbone of our business, now.
Well, anybody.
Well, but there's, I guess in a way it is, but our best plumber, the roofer, the electrician.
Good story about when you're done.
Okay, yeah, our plumber, oh, yeah. We have had the same named plumber
Well,
for
he actually, when I first started.
40 years. Longer?
No, I think you're right.
That's about 40 years.
He was 15 years old, worked with his dad, Danny Sturman Plumbing.
Yeah.
And
But his dad was Danny Sturman too. So we had his dad, Danny Sturman, first.
Oh,
And
he
now-
still works for us now.
Now we have the
And
son.
now he's 55 years old.
Yeah. I mean, wow. Yeah.
Oh,
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's more than 40.
15 to 55 is 40.
There you go. Okay, Mr. Matt.
Hey,
Mr. Matt.
you don't have to do math to be successful. Only when you're cutting some wood, right? I was saying. I have a really fun one.
Measure twice, cut once.
I have a really fun one for you. So right now I'm working on my wife's starter, and I have to take out a bolt. And my
You were just a jack of all trades.
He kind of is.
my 12 millimeter won't fit. It's just a bit too big. My 11 too small. My 7/8 too small. My half too big. There's no in between of any part of any of this.
It must be a metric.
You need like a.
I did 11 to 12 and it's not working. Yeah.
They make wrenches will grab that nut that is really not any size.
Yeah,
It just pinches down.
I just don't. I don't know if I have space to get in there. I'll figure. Honestly, I'm just gonna end up ripping
There's
it out.
a real problem. They don't give you enough space
Yeah.
for it.
But and I think what the problem is it's got enough corrosion where it's built up enough rust. The actual head isn't what it's supposed to be.
Can you heat it?
Yeah, I'm going to.
That's the solution.
I'm probably not going to be honest with you. I'm just gonna be lazy as shit. I'm gonna go spend that $80 to buy a brand new starter instead of so right now my wife drives an 05 Honda Pilot and we have an 03 Honda Pilot sitting in our driveway that's been there for a year, just broke down. Well, it's not broke down. We just let the battery die, and all of a sudden I was talking to my brother this morning and I was like, "Hey, I'm having this issue. Everything's looking good." He goes, "It's got to be the starter." He goes, "Just tap it." And I was like, "I don't have two people." So he's like, "You have a parts car right in the driveway." And I was like, "Oh, I do. That's right." So I started kind of wrenching on that one, and I was like, "Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna buy a new one." The only reason I didn't want to buy a new one is because if it's not the starter, then I'm $80 into that. I'm $150 into the battery. Something could keep going to more and more. But we're both pretty positive it's just that one part. So I'll get that ordered up and take care of that.
Like getting down on the ground ain't that much fun unless you.
It's for the birds. Oh no, I'm poor. I'm not always.
Pour my ass.
Yeah, see, my neighbor. Every time I work on it, so I changed my alternator a month ago, whatever it was, not even. And he comes over and I was changing my brakes and I broke a tool, and he's like, "Yep, this is why I pay people." And I was like, "Look, I don't have rich people money, okay?"
What tool did you break?
I actually broke the head off of my ratchet. Like I stripped the entire thing off.
How in the hell did you do that?
Muscle, baby.
I guess so.
Sick. And I was so thankful. But I just, while I'm in the middle of working, I don't want to sit here and deal with going to take it back. So I just grabbed another one. And it's funny, I grabbed it today and I was like this piece of shit. And I threw it again. And, I say, I do that all the time. Like, I'll just get so mad when something doesn't go right. And I throw stuff and I'm like, I'm done for 2 seconds, go right back at it. Because.
And there you are, working on your cars that you have.
Yep.
And we talk about the car issue right now. First of all, buying a new car is for the very wealthy.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they can get them. So here we are working on because your cars have value right now. I mean, in this world of used cars.
Oh yeah.
Those have this. That's a great car, the Honda Pilot. I have a CRV and I love my CRV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a skill that people wish to have because you need to keep your old cars and or pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to have someone do that.
Now than when you and I were
exactly.
Oh yeah, and that's I brought it into the shop because I was getting lazy for a minute in my life. And I don't know what I needed done, but the guy quoted me like $900, and I was like, "You're the dumbest person I've met." I was like, "No, I will trailer it back home for the $50 tow bill."
But on the other hand, to make the average car payment right now, if you were to buy a brand new car, is $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
For the average car payment.
Average?
Yes, it is. It is. It truly is. And even to pay $900. To have your car repaired or put it back on the road is cheaper than
car payment. Yeah,
a car payment.
That's what I was talking to somebody that just bought a Tesla, and their car payment's $1,800 a month.
I saw somebody and they were talking about what a great deal they got on their car. They're only paying $250 a week.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you guys are seeing that thing.
That's how they break it down.
That is because
so
people are sitting there going, "Oh, it's only $250," and I'm like, "That's $1,000 a month."
Yeah.
Well, evidently they make $7,000-8,000 a month.
Don't you?
Again, what they do is they get
no income anymore.
Yeah.
What they do is they get people in there that don't know any better. So we're on the way down here. I get a phone call.
Okay.
Caitlin. Dad.
I love Caitlin stories.
At least she called.
Yeah.
My mortgage company called. I said, "Okay. They want me to unfreeze my credit. Why?" I don't know. They said they needed to unfreeze so they could check something for me. I said, uh-huh. Are they calling you back? And she goes, yeah, I told them I had to call my dad. I'm like, good girl. Now, when they call you back, you're to ask them why they need your credit unfroze, or you can just conference me in and I will ask. I said, and if it is to check on a refi rate, you're not interested. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I didn't hear back from her, so I'm going to assume they wanted to just run a refi rate.
Exactly.
Her rate's like 3.25.
3.25, yeah. Yeah.
So you're gonna refi it for what? Six and a half? No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And mind you, my daughter is trusting.
Shush is.
So she might fall for that. Now she's better now.
And doesn't exactly know. She's only a young girl.
Right.
Doesn't know the ways of the world and the squirrely people that try to screw you.
So I'm looking, I got on Reddit because I could look up things that we might want to talk about on the episodes.
Oh.
And one of them I saw today, this woman is upset about she had gotten a zero interest card for 18 months. And she's mad now because she's been charged $2,100 interest because she didn't pay it off in time. Okay.
Those are fault.
It tells you what you're supposed to do. I get that it sucks, but
It's follow the rules. Read the fine print. It's right there.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't say.
and
You should.
You should.
Okay.
Only
And I
because
hate
you
to
said you should.
say this younger generation that is coming up, they don't pay attention to anything. They don't listen to anybody. They don't pay attention to anything. And then when shit goes wrong, they can't understand why.
Sorry, what'd you say?
see, I think part of it is the fact
You're
that
not in that generation.
he's a millennial.
Uh-oh.
I'm 33.
Oh,
I'll be
He's a
34
millennial.
tomorrow.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, you're a smart one.
So
Lord save us all.
But I was also raised by my grandparents, which is a completely different culture. right?
part of the problem
They're like
is
It is different.
in school, they're not teaching any of these kids how to critically think about anything. They're just teaching them how to memorize.
Yeah.
And you can memorize anything you want. You can be a great student at memorization. That doesn't mean you learn anything.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you can
Yes, yes.
understand what's going on. And we don't teach any money habits to anybody.
This is a terrible. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Oh, wait a minute, this could be.
This could be a
This could be a
scam call, folks.
not a spam
first.
call. That's too bad.
This is something like.
We'll let it go.
No, I gotta let that.
Just let it
go.
Okay. So yeah,
Sorry, Bambi.
you know, Nick and I talked about this because poor people, the system is set up against. We had that talk last week.
We did, yeah.
Because really, the best thing for businesses is to keep you poor. Because if you're poor, you're going to keep, making bad choices. And
I don't know. I agree with that totally.
okay, well, we can discuss that for sure.
Say
So
it again.
Well,
the system is set up to keep people poor.
Okay.
And
But go about the
I
businesses.
agree with.
I agree
Right.
with that. But
when I say businesses, I'm not necessarily talking like Family Fare or Meijer or stuff like that. I mean, to an extent, maybe because of whatever they might pay, but banks love poor people because credit card companies. Because
yeah.
what do poor people want? They want things.
Can we
Yeah.
say the government, or is that not allowed on?
Oh, you can say whatever you want.
The government wants to keep us.
Poor.
well, that's exactly.
Well, they're the
so
ones that set up the system.
That's kind of what we were talking about. Was so when I was younger, right? I mean, just like when you guys started out, you started out with that might be an important phone call. We have a back to back.
Nah, it's not.
Let's say.
just hit the button and ignore it.
So when I was younger, I had a two-tone Ford Escort. It didn't look great. And I got pulled over on constant. And I just told David, I said, when I get my Chrysler Pacifica family van that looks like it's got a little bit of money and I'm not causing trouble or anything like that, I get pulled over half the time. And so the idea came up about around the 4th of July, right? This is what happened was. My neighbors around me were bitching about people lighting fireworks. And they said, oh, it's illegal to light fireworks. And I made the joke of, oh, it's the week before and the week after. And then they quoted, and they're like, nope, it states the day before, the day of, and the day after. And it's $1,000 fine. And I said, and I responded with, so it sounds like if you're poor and you can't afford $1,000 fine, you can't light fireworks. But if you got $1,000, light those some bitches whenever you want, because that's the worst that's going to happen is you get $1,000 fine. Who gives two shit? If you have $1,000, you just that's way like light them. I'll light them today. I don't care. $1,000 just to blow out.
I get charged for it. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Right? If you get charged for it, and so it's so the idea is like right. It's if you're rich, that $1,000 that rule doesn't apply to you, right? Because you've already budgeted that. Let's say I go spend 10 grand on fireworks. I'm only going to spend $9 because I have $1,000 to make sure I can pay that fee.
You've said it how many times?
Speeding tickets.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
$100 bill on the ground. Bill Gates ain't bending over to pick it up because it costs him more money to bend over to pick it up than it does just step over the $100.
At one point in his life, every second, right? Which people don't, our brains can't fathom it. But every second, Bill Gates was making $103 a second. Okay, so if he dropped a $100 bill on the ground, it would have taken him more time to pick that bill up than it would have been for him just to continue to walk and let that bill fly. Because every step basically is a second, and he would have made more money every single step. So, if you look at it from that sense, like rich people, I mean, a speeding ticket, sure, it hits your insurance and do whatever, but you can buy insurance at any price. You can do it. So speeding tickets, yeah, they're $110. Back when I was a kid, like I was like, oh man, I hate the speeding ticket and I hate the insurance. But now I'm just like, I mean, it's $110. Like, I really want to get there quicker. Laws are meant to supposed to, hey, let's make it so these people aren't happening, right? We'll get into a different conversation a whole nother time because I just heard something that pissed me off on the TV. But I just get so mad, like looking at that. Like now that I have $110 to my name, it's just meant to keep people, the masses, because the masses are the one that are driving this.
Okay, you mentioned Bill Gates, and there's several other like gazillionaires out there that we can talk about, but when it comes to the world of business, for every city in this country, there are businessmen, business people who are wealthy in a lot of people's eyes, but not the Bill Gates wealthy, but wealthy enough in other people's eyes. And what they have done in their cities, communities, is create a market and a job market for people, and a good job market and a good living for people. And I'm saying this because I know this is at more of a local level than a nationwide level. You can't put that into a Bill Gates thing. So when you talk about that and the people that are wealthy, and maybe they wouldn't bend over either, but they contribute to a community in offering jobs, and not just jobs, the good businessmen offer benefits to their people and a lot of other things. So let's, when we talk about businessmen and business companies, not just men, but business women, that.
And she brought that in.
I'm going to say, sexism earlier.
You have to do that. I think we have to throw that in there too, because there really truly aren't a lot of Bill Gates out there, but there are a lot of really good, very wealthy people who are really good business people.
We're not even to 500. But last I knew, I haven't looked in a while. I thought it was 489. Don't quote me. 489 citizens in the U.S. are billionaires.
Yeah.
Right.
Compared to
everybody.
Exactly.
So I mean, and then but billionaires, right? So like really just
yeah,
Stupid money.
The money that Yeah, we talk about it. One of my favorite things, Mark Cuban dropping an F-bomb for 30K, right? When
Yeah.
30K means nothing to you, man, like you've done well in your life, okay? And I love the small business aspect of things like that because they are the ones that give back. They're the ones that, I mean, just like you own a business, you coach, right? Granted,
Right.
I don't know if you sponsor jerseys for
Yes.
things or whatever, but
Yes.
For
you know,
like
I-
20-some years.
one thing I'll tell you is I know that you buy ice cream, right? And that's a huge thing, right? But,
For a bunch of degenerates and their players.
so, but there's
I was on a couple of the teams that.
There you go.
and that's the small businesses. I have quite a few friends from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is where I ended up being. And Eau Claire, I'll tell you, absolutely hates Menards. That's where Menards started. That's where they're from.
Really?
Because the guy, right? Because I mean, let's say he's probably up in the. I don't know if he's a billionaire, but I would say he's up in the well past $500 million range, and he does nothing for that.
But
town.
that's wrong.
Like
That's just.
his name's on the YMCA, but I didn't see his name on the hospital. I didn't see his name anywhere else. I went to a baseball game that was out there. I didn't see Menards sponsoring the baseball field, and that's the kind of thing where it's
Exactly.
like, dude, you're
You see him on a race car though, because he's making millions of dollars off the race car,
Well, his
kind of thing.
kid
You get the same
raised
thing down
kid
in
are-
Fayetteville, Arkansas, or whatever, where Bart started. And
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Well, again, you look at a lot of these big chains, and they're just awful
Mhm.
places to work for, deal
Yes, they
with,
are.
buy from.
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't shop at Walmart. I will not fucking shop at Walmart. I hate Walmart. That's not my deal. I will go to Meijer, but if I'm going to shop for groceries, I really want to go to Horrocks. There's 3 Horrocks. They got great stuff.
See, but I think what is behind the scenes, and that's why cities like Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo and any city, there are people always behind the scenes who don't get their name on buildings, who don't get their name on roads, that contribute. And that is kind of the big thing. I guess right now as when we're talking business, those are the people that really do it for their communities. And they don't want recognition, they don't want a name out there. And
Well, I would agree. There are those, like you said, Kalamazoo is a good
Yeah.
example. There are plenty of those, but then
oh yeah.
there are those other families that, the Gilmores, the Afghans, the Strikers, and their names on everything.
but what have they? Okay, they built a hospital,
Yeah.
and that's what they've done, and that's a
Yeah.
wonderful thing that they build a hospital. But are there still people on the streets? Yes. Are there still people clamoring for housing? And
Mhm.
why aren't they building?
You're talking
Really?
a fine line here.
Well, I know that, but I guess here's the point I'm
Do
making.
we have a family that comes in and lives with us?
No,
Our family?
because we can't afford it, but we're not there. But there are lots and lots of people who could give lots and lots more. There was a time back long before even us, because we're old bucks, but there's a long time ago, when communities they didn't even know about the federal government. They didn't even know about the state government because the community took care of community.
Mhm.
And we've lost that. We have truly
Oh, yeah.
and this in that way lost the church. And I shouldn't say churches do it, but churches do a great thing. But a community taking care of a community. And I guess for me,
Well, and I agree. Like the church aspect is like, but what I'm finding with churches right now is that churches only take care of church community, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
You don't see them going out and
yeah, and you're right about
The
that.
really good ones will, but they're few and far between.
Well, and they're not the big
Yeah.
ones, right?
Well,
Like,
when we did the Holland Pride celebration.
oh yeah, Hudsonville. Was a-
Well, no, when we did Holland, the one next to the vendor next to us
Yep.
was a church
Well, the same thing at
at Lowell.
No,
Yeah.
the vendor right now. No, well, I think Spectrum or whatever was on the one side, but then the one right next to Spectrum was a church. And
Well,
it's not
when you
Yeah.
did it in Hudsonville, it was sponsored by a church.
Well, he was so to your left was
Yeah.
that church. He was literally one more left, just on the side street.
Right.
Churches can be exclusive,
yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
churches was a bad example. But
No, but
I think that
the community thing. So when so I look at it like from my daughter's still in school, and I know that some of you don't have the kids in that, but granted we're in a very pretty okay neighborhood, but there's usually a family every year that just walks in and says, hey, what's the lunch tab for everybody? I'd like to pay the back debt, right? And that's what it takes is a random person.
and they don't
They don't
get
get
their
recognition. They don't get
exactly.
anything.
They don't get their name on the street.
Exactly.
They just do it.
Yep, and
Exactly.
I have a friend of mine near and dear to my heart, very well off, right? Sold everything that he had, that he owns, and donated it all to a specific college. And they go, what do you want? You want your name on this? And he goes, nope. And they kept talking through the night, and he's like, oh, I'm a little chilly. And they go, here's a hoodie, right? So he has a sweater with the college name on it. That's the only thing.
Mhm.
And he donated all of his money. Granted, he's getting a kickback for the rest of his life and the rest of his wife's life, but once that's done, it's done. Like,
Mhm.
and so he'll never know who he is. The college will never know where that money came from, why their new football field is there, why their new gymnasium is paid for, that type of thing. So,
Well, I mean, even us, we find things that are special to us, and we
Yes.
give money towards
Yes.
those things.
Yes.
So I had found I'm on Twitter one day, and this guy's promoting clear the lists because teachers need supplies because they don't have anything, and they have to supply a lot of things.
And they pay out of their own pockets.
Yeah.
Teachers, I mean, all teachers do this.
And they're vastly underpaid.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, yep, share your lists. Let's help get these
Do it.
teachers things they need. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And the first one I saw, I'm like, oh, I'll go buy some stuff. So I went and bought, a couple of things on the list. And I'm like, this is cool. And I sent it to these two. I'm like, hey, you don't have to do it, but in case you're interested to hear this, as Mike sends me a message right away. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go do that too. And then I found another one, and I bought a couple books for that one. And I'm just telling him, I'm like, yeah, this is for Bucks and Brews because
You'd rather get.
I'd rather people,
podcast
I'd rather
or-
people go, hey, Bucks and Brews did a nice thing because I don't give a shit.
Let's look up Bucks and Brews.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about, hey, David did that.
No.
I had posted today the card we got together for the kid in Florida.
yeah.
And I put at the end, I'm not posting this for any kind of recognition. I'm posting this because I want people to know that, people do care, even if you don't know those people.
Yes.
So, this kid, he came out a few weeks ago as transgendered and wants to, live his life as a male. And some of the family had a huge issue with this, which of course, devastated the kid. And a girl I know through the Garrison had posted about it. And I said, hey, did you find out if he likes Star Wars? He goes, yeah. So comes back, yeah, he loves Star Wars. And I had just gotten some Pride stickers done for me and Dawn. I'm like, all right, we'll get a care package together. And I told the girls at work, and they're like, hey, we're going to make a card and write notes. Sweet. So we sent notes and a card and stickers and trading cards and all sorts of shit to this kid. And I don't need a pat on the back for doing it. I just wanted people to know, hey, by the way, people that you don't know might care. They just might care.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
And that you have no idea. You really won't have an idea of what impression that's made on that young
Mhm.
person, and where he's going to go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, what he's going to do, and the pay it forward thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that comes into the quotient here as well. When you do that to someone, they think, well, okay, I should be kind then,
Mhm.
and pay it forward.
You get these, like I said, these youth or young adults or whatever that are in the LGBTQI community.
Yeah.
And just those friendly gestures sometimes are the difference between them, like,
Exactly.
contemplating suicide and being
Exactly.
happy.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden they're like, wow, people do
Yes.
they care about
Wow.
me. Like you said, Steve, you've never like let a poor person into your live in your home, but I bet you in your time you probably donated either supplies or time
Well,
or things like
Well,
Habitat for Humanity.
oh yes, but you know, when he was coaching,
Yeah.
it
When
wasn't,
he was coaching, he helped some really crazy people.
yes, really crazy characters in the coaching. And yeah, and we might be listening to one of them right now, but
Might be.
Yeah.
Probably are.
That he has been told by some of these young men that he made a difference in their lives. You don't know, you really truly don't know. I had a professor once, and I went to Kalamazoo Valley. This is years ago, and he was a crazy dude. He was a Vietnam vet, and he was a hippie. Well, no, I take that back. He was not a Vietnam vet because he shot himself in the toe, so he didn't have to go to Vietnam. But
Okay.
This
Okay.
is under the poop of your pants.
But
It is definitely.
he was one of those guys, but he was a professor that was an old hippie, and we had a lot of conversations. And one of the things when he always sent our papers back to us, he always would write little memos on the papers that he sent back to us. And one of the things I'll never forget that he always wrote was words hurt. And just those simple two words, words hurt. And isn't that if you could just step back before you open up your big mouth, to think about what you're gonna say to someone.
Yeah.
Is important.
Yeah, that youth report,
I've never-
Sticks and Stones May Break My Bones. is
I've
only
never
like
forgotten
10%.
that ever, and I never will. So
Well, you know, and I've said it a million times, and I don't know if I've ever said it in front of you, Yvonne, but I've said it to Steve a million times, and he blows me off every time I say it. He's the closest thing to a dad I ever had, and the lessons I learned from him were more important than probably anything else I got out of football or anything else I got out of. For me, high school was a joke. I mean, I showed up, they gave me a C, I went home. I was fine with it. I didn't care. I didn't need a good grade because it didn't really matter to me. They never gave me a reason to give it.
Yeah.
You know, but if I did something special, I wanted Steve to know because I wanted that group. You know, when Nick came out and did Nick Lefebvre, when he came out and did the story on my team.
That was awesome story.
Only opinion I wanted was his. It was the only one I wanted. Like my mom watched it and she's like, yeah, it's nice. And I was happy that Dawn and Caitlin were happy with it, but the phone call I got from Steve was everything I wanted.
You might think he takes it lightly, but he doesn't. And I know you know that.
I do. I know he doesn't like me to say it.
No, he's Mr.
He's
Humble.
all bashful.
Mr. Humble over here. Yeah.
Look at him.
No,
He's
no,
a
no,
little
no,
hole in my
Right,
drink.
was up for the last podcast. You know,
Yeah.
They talked about at the beginning of the football game. He
Yeah.
would come and just so he could look for you without
I wanted to
necessarily.
see what stud you were sitting next to.
Well, sure you
What he
do.
said, but that meant a lot to him. Just to be the one
Yeah,
that he was.
I was the one that Steve would come to and throw his hands on his shoulders, going, "I'm just looking for my wife." I was happy to be that guy.
And toward the end of the year, I didn't even have to explain to him what.
No.
I was doing.
Just pretend I'm saying something important, and I'd just sit there and do this.
Yeah, but just think what those fans. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Look at that. They only knew.
Well, I mean, how many times that the girls think it's funny when I come out to the circle to talk to them. And so I don't know if I told.
Swear.
I don't know if I told
Well,
you this story,
They
Steve,
forced you to swear.
but I had dropped an F-bomb this year in the middle of the circle,
Uh-oh.
and I told the girls, I'm like, don't tell anybody I said that, I'll deny it. Mind you, they ratted me out immediately. So a few weeks later, we're just not playing real well, and the umpire's not giving us any calls. So I called timeout. I go out there to the circle. I'm like, all right, what do you need from me? And my shortstop looks at me and goes, a couple curse words couldn't hurt. And the first baseman goes, yeah, that might actually help. So I said a couple curse words. I turned around and I walked away. And they got out of the inning. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess that worked. They think it's funny when I swear. You know, it's not like I'm trying to do it, but hey, if that's going to loosen you up and get you to play a little better, I really don't care.
Wait till they're 18 and you're telling them to follow Bucks and Brews, and you're like, oh wow, he a lot more than you ever did.
One of my catchers asked me about college and stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, I just don't know how I'm going to pay for it." I'm like, "Yeah, we did a couple episodes on my podcast about that." She goes, "Can you send it to me?" I said, "Yeah, you just have to know two things. One, I curse on there a whole lot. Two, I'm drinking beer.
Yeah.
So you found it on your own, and if your parents have an issue with it, that's not my problem."
And you know, I think can't all of us say that there's been throughout our lives, short lives, however long lives we have right now, that there's been an influential person in our family or in our life. I think that we all can say that. That's been someone we think about a lot. We all have that.
Yeah.
My dad was a good man, a good, probably one of the had the most integrity of any man.
Yep.
I've ever known, and
You just didn't want to piss him off.
yeah, really.
How many times did you do that?
Oh, a lot.
A lot.
Good for you.
Yeah.
He was so good to me.
Yeah.
But then he beat the shit out of me.
Oh, I learned
I think
that
that's why I
from my
love
dad.
life.
I learned that from my dad. But you know, I think we all have had, whether it's been different eras in our life or whatever, that there's been someone that we can think back that, yeah, okay, I want to be like that still.
Well, I know that
That's
I know that Steve coached or shaped the way I coach. You know, the biggest thing he taught me was the last kid on the bench is just as important as the first kid off. And that was something that other coaches there were not teaching. And when I had, you know, players that didn't know what the hell they were doing, they'd tell you that they absolutely loved playing for me because I made them feel special.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter that they didn't know what they were doing. I didn't care. You're here, I'm going to give you what I got as long as you give me what you got. And that was something Steve always taught me.
Some of it was just on the team.
Yeah.
And like they were a part of something.
Yeah.
You know, and wouldn't you think that would be a natural thing that any coach would want to do to children to make them
We're
feel
digging
good?
into something. We're digging
know,
into a deep hole.
would-
I'm gonna say this is gonna get real bad real quick.
No, that would also
Alright,
say it would
but-
be something that anybody would do.
Yeah.
Because no,
You would
But it's
think
not
that, but
success, no, yeah, but I'm just saying, but success and, you know, whether it's success in sports or business or personal life or whatever, it's all, you know, there are people that's all they care about. They don't care about.
Well, I said for a long time, you know, most other people look at me and they think I'm a crappy coach because my team sucked. And Dawn said to me a long time ago, she goes, "You're never going to win there. And you just have to be okay with your legacy." I'm like, I know what my legacy is. I'm okay with it. It just sucks. I also want to
You
win.
knew what you were
Yeah.
walking into when
I
you
did.
walked into
I
it.
knew exactly what I was walking into. I knew I was going to get my brains beat in on a daily basis.
And you're not upset about what you did there.
No, not at all. I was the best thing to happen to those kids.
I say the other thing that we're upset about, the fact that, you know, we'll be up by X amount of runs and then the kids don't show up for the last little 2 seconds. But you know, when you think you have it, just can't finish. No,
Nobody was
I mean, you want a free dinner out of that just because I made a dumb bet.
you're welcome.
He gets that with his good team, you know, once.
That's you know, I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think the person that you look up to the most, because you know they say that you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with, right? And so when you talk about, you know, there's always an influence or a mentor or something in your life, and that can go both ways. There's good and a bad, right? So
yes,
I know too many people that have had things going for them, and then they get the person that they look up to that's really big into drugs, and they're having affairs, and they're doing things,
Mm-hmm.
and then their life just turns to crap. And I'm like, this person's a multimillionaire living their life and you wanted to be like them, but you didn't have any of the work ethic, you didn't have any of the stuff beforehand, you didn't have the money, you had nothing. Now you have a drug addiction, right? Like because that person did. And so I think it's just the person that impacts your life is very huge.
Oh, sure, there's negative impacts and positive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in a perfect world, wouldn't it be that we can all take away from, especially the negative impacts, and turn those into the positive impacts, but in a perfect
do
world, that doesn't
I
always
think the
happen.
balance is going the wrong way.
I guess maybe,
I disagree.
It's not.
yeah.
I would almost
I hope
disagree.
you're right.
Well, I think the impact's just kind of it looks different for what you're seeing versus what I'm seeing, right? So, I was listening to somebody the other day, and a little bit of your generation, and we talked about it a little in the last podcast, right? We were talking about how you're thinking about selling some stuff and doing whatever, and you want to make sure you leave your kids with money, right? Your generation,
I've changed that view.
well, that's like but your generation is, hey, I have to do this, and then your parents before that wanted to leave it, and now it's this generation is. I'm gonna make it or break it without anybody having my back, and they're fighting it, right? Because they don't want their parents to control anything that they do. But I think that's been through every generation. Someone's doing do the opposite or things like that. Unless you've had that great guidance growing up, where it's like, hey, look, this is what we do. You're a plumber and stuff like that. But I think what I'm seeing is just, hey, I don't need anybody else. I'm gonna make it, and if I don't, it's my own fault, right? I think that there's a lot more responsibility taken by people than we actually see, because we see a lot of people failing. So
I think I sent this to both of you. I saw a TikTok yesterday from a younger millennial, and she said, and basically called out boomers and Gen Xers. She goes, "We're the first generation that if we have toxic family members in our life, we're just done with them. We'll never talk to them again. We don't give a shit. So if our mom or our dad is toxic, fuck them. They're dead to us as far as we're concerned. We're just moving on." And I sat there thinking about that, and I still am kind to my father. I mean, if he calls, I talk to him. I don't
cut him out of your life.
Yeah, I haven't cut him out of my life. I don't have a relationship with him, but if he calls, I'll take the phone call. Yeah, how not to act? I did.
Good or bad, you learn.
I did.
What, honey? Right there and turn. What is that, right? Yeah.
Right out in the
Yep.
front yard,
Yeah.
like anywhere in the front yard you want.
well, that's exactly it.
Even with my mom, I love my mom, but the older she gets, the worse she is.
Okay, the old stupid adage about how you can you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your
Parents?
relatives,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, toxic parents. Yeah.
Well,
And a lot of people, especially from my generation, they just put up with it because that's kind of what we just are expected to do.
that's what everybody was expecting.
Well, and kids nowadays, they're like, screw that. If you're toxic, get the hell out of my life. I'll do shit on my own. They're so much more resourceful than I was at that
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
And they have no problem just saying, yeah, I don't like that. I don't agree with that. So I'm going to go do this instead. And it blows me away that,
So I wonder, is that because that whatever the generation is called, I can't keep up with all the
Yep.
names for the generations, but we didn't have a radio we could turn on. We didn't have TikTok and
657 channels
things
TV,
and
more
things
than
to
that on your phone.
and things to express ourselves, where TikTok and
Yeah.
social media come in where they can express themselves. We didn't have, the only expression we had was going out and
I don't think it's
drinking.
necessarily just the expression. I think it's the access to knowledge. You know, if I was going to learn something, I learned it from
school,
the TV,
right?
You know, the radio, or my parents.
Yeah,
You know, that's all I had to draw from.
that's true.
I've said before, I went to school with 2 black kids. I didn't know black people growing up.
Not real strong though.
Right.
So I wasn't
Places in the
exposed to it. I
world.
really wasn't exposed to gay people growing up. I didn't have those exposures.
Exactly.
And now, you know, like I saw a thing where gay people, you know, older gay people were saying to younger gay people, stop
Not much in there.
telling you know, older
It's on the
people than
floor.
you that they should just come out of the closet, because for us that's hard. We lived in a time that when you did that, they beat the hell out of you. Whereas, you know, kids nowadays, yeah, that could still happen, but it's definitely more socially acceptable because there are people out there that are like, I don't care what you are.
Well, and people that will support them.
Yeah.
Everything, whether it's social media or what, they get a support system where older, whether you're it's a race or sexual orientation. In our day, there was no support there.
Yes.
At all. You better stay in the closet because we're in the 60s. You should be.
Yeah.
We really didn't. There were very few that we knew of.
But as we grew older, we found out that they were gay, and it's like, yeah, okay,
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that now, you know, and I hope they're happy.
Well, actually, a lot of those we could see it back then
Well,
too.
but it wasn't. Yeah.
So, no,
The world-
the social acceptance.
Oh my God.
I mean, you know, you look at that type of thing, and it talk about it all the time. It takes masses, right?
Mhm.
Like, and I was watching. I don't want to say it wrong, but like,
Just set that down.
it's called Bill Maher, right? Bill Maher is like, hey, the amount of the amount of gays that are coming out is grown progressively over the past 5 generations. You know, you had 2% of the population, now you're up to
more.
way to go. I've never heard Steve actually turn down a drink because
really.
too strong.
Yeah, I'm sick right now.
Mike's a heavy pour.
And the heavy ball.
That was a good. I can tell by the color right away.
You know, I look at this and now it's a tough question, and feel free to answer it because that's what I want. What was one of the biggest regrets you had in your business?
This was on my list.
Oh.
Use more Jameson? Do you need to cut it with anything or just
Oh,
run
it's
it?
just like-
Actually, this is a pretty easy question to answer. Is not getting my wife involved in my business earlier. We might be having the same conversation, but it wouldn't be here, it'd be somewhere in the Bahamas. She is so good, and I just,
Too nice at not accepting payment?
no, you know, I never had much trouble with people not paying. You know, I had a few,
Yeah.
and when I had them, they were big ones. But you know, we got through that pretty good. But she is just so much more talented than I ever thought of being.
I would have offered another insight in the business level that we didn't have.
Sure.
You know, again, and that goes with what's the word I'm looking for?
That I was a dumbass.
The era, thank you very much. That okay, let's keep the little wifey in the house, barefoot and pregnant. We
That
came
was
from that.
not it.
Oh yes, it was. We
If
came
it ain't
from
broke,
that.
don't fix it.
We came from that era.
Oh, we did.
That maybe, and then later on, as we grew together, because we were kids when we were married. As we grew together, he kind of realized, hey, she's a little bit smarter than I give her credit for, maybe. And
She's the smarter of us two by far.
Well,
No.
Whereas that don't
No.
take that much.
We're all-
let's say you
we're
work
all-
with your hands.
we're all smart in different ways.
Of course.
And I could have offered that other niche niche, I guess, niche
Yeah.
that wasn't there before.
My wife can read a book, she can understand it. If I read that same book, I'm not a freaking chance.
And
Right.
you could have read every word, but you just went over it, you were,
Yep.
it just goes,
Say,
yeah.
that's why my wife and I, I always tell people, you want to know how your marriage is going to work? Build an IKEA cabinet together. There's no damn words on the page. And, right, I'm handy, and she'll interpret however, grab A, and I was like, oh, find A. But, I can build it, she can read it, it's perfect, right? Stay out of my working physical, and she'll try to put her hand in and hold a nail or do something, I'm like, just stop, like, I don't need your help, I don't want your help, just say, she's so much better at that understanding of what goes where, when, why, how, right? And I say, or I tell people the other thing is you want to know if your marriage is going to last, paint a pool together.
Paint a pool together.
Just, I could end my marriage that day. Say, but
You do love your pool.
I fucking hate that pool so much. But now, Yvonne, what's your biggest, I guess, regret of, or what would you have done different in the business?
I'm gonna leave the room right now.
Fired you a long time ago, huh?
Well, she's gonna say a lot of stuff's gonna make me cry, not because I'm happy.
Sometimes Steve didn't read the customer as well as I did.
Okay.
And when I would offer my opinion about his read, he would ignore me and say, and yeah, whatever kind of thing he would say. Well, and ultimately he would learn that I was right. I didn't do it a lot because generally he was very good with the customer. But I don't know if it's a woman thing, I'm not gonna go there, but I can read people pretty well. I'm pretty good at that. And he was all in the bullshit mode. Because when he was schmoozing a customer, he's in bullshit mode. And he doesn't always get the nuances that are there. Well, I did. I could tell.
Would this relate to difficult customers?
Yes.
Okay. Which drags me into the next one. How did you deal with those difficult customers?
Well, I let him deal with them because he's the one who hired him. He's the one who worked for him. I told him not to, and he did it. It was like, yeah.
We didn't have that many.
And we didn't really. We truly didn't.
It was just you do what you say you're gonna do.
I'm trying to think of an instance that.
No, we don't want, because then you're gonna have to say something that's gonna hurt somebody's feelings.
All right.
But as with this one customer had trouble, I did some checking around and stuff, and they said, "Oh, yeah, hell, I don't know what the hell you work
Why'd you work for them for?"
I said, "Why didn't you tell me that 3 months ago?"
A 3 month job, that's a big job. And I think that's really true. My wife is not good at reading people in a sense, and I'm good at it. I can't say I'm great. I'm hoping I'm good, right? Like if I were to pick a tenant, my wife would. It's nothing against it, but like she would pick the person that's the most needy, has no money, just needs the place, right? And I'm like, that's not how we can make our life work, right? Like I understand. And she'd be like, but they seem so nice. And I was like, nice doesn't pay my fucking bills, right? Like, you like the vacation that we take? Yes. Okay, we can't take that without this, right?
See, we've been landlords too, and that's another aspect of the business. I was the hard ass.
And I listened to it.
But you didn't always listen to me. Me being the hard ass, and we go over the applications and things. And Point was the last people that we ever rented to.
We got all our money.
And yeah, we did.
Eventually.
Took a long time.
Don't say anything. No one did not. They were right.
They were, but it.
Okay, let's get back to this biggest mistake you ever made. We should have invested in real estate
Always,
a lot more.
yes. We should,
Wouldn't put 2 fucking cents.
no, and or all these annuities, what the hell is annuity? That they wanna sell you over and over and over again. Oh, we've been there, done that.
Ronald B. Weiser
buy
sold me
annuities.
11
Buy-
annuities.
Buy real estate,
11.
right? That is the,
Thank you,
for
Ronald.
us, for us,
Um,
it was always the best investment.
have I told you about grain?
Right?
Grain.
Your mom sold some.
Yes, my mom sold some grain finally.
Oh,
Ful-
she had,
Fulton talked her.
she had commodities?
Fulton talked her and my aunt into buying fucking grain.
Oh my God.
And mind you, they didn't buy like futures or anything. They bought the fucking grain, and it's stored in these big tubs in Missouri.
And they had to pay rent.
And they had to pay rent every fucking month for this damn grain.
yeah, gee.
So it finally got to the point where a year ago, Fulton found her a company that was willing to pay those fees, but they got 50% of whatever it sold for. And I'm like, you might as well take something that's better than nothing. At least you're not paying those fees.
Fulton is still out there,
Oh my God, he sucks.
and he's still doing it?
I don't think he's doing it anymore because nobody will give him any money because he sucked at it. She gave me $500 to play with, and it's well above $500. Let me tell you that.
David does very well on stuff.
I do quite well.
I was doing quite well.
Well, I mean,
Well, everybody
everything's
was.
been down this year,
Okay.
but
Still at a profit.
David, do you invest in things that you know?
yes and no.
I
So
mean-
I will research things just to see what I think. So if I do a spur of the moment, hey, this looks good, it's probably a bad idea. I've done that a few times and it has not worked out quite as well as I would like. So I think I told this last time Steve was up when the pandemic hit. Market went into the crapper. I went and looked into the top, I want to say 20 dividend paying stock. And I told Caitlin, I said, you're not getting anything on your savings account. I'm going to take $10,000 for you. She goes, okay. And I took 10 grand and I threw it in the market. And at its highest, she had put in total about 14 and it was about a 25. Right now, because we've taken some hits, it's probably around 18,000. So I mean, she's still made money.
The only difference between that and what we did at Ronald B. Weiser, it was just,
Mm-hmm.
no, it wasn't even that good.
Yeah,
And I mean, she's very diversified. Nick and I are big with that. We had her on.
Good.
And one of the questions she asked you was, hey, I'm not working right now. Should I continue investing in my Roth IRAs?
Yep.
And your answer was,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I wish we'd have done more of that.
yeah.
Well, that's I mean, you get to that. Like, and again, you could be wrong, and then you look like an a-hole, but you could be right, and you look fine. But again, diversify, right? Like you say, hey, I wish I would have done more real estate. And there's, I look at my life, and I'm right in the middle of it. I have a decent amount of real estate, and part of me goes, damn, I wish I would have just done stocks, and it would have been a little easier. But I don't, because I look at my stocks and see the return. But really, real estate without tenants is great.
Yeah,
You know?
yes,
It's
yes.
that tenant piece that makes it not as great.
Yes.
That's sort of like coaching football, though, fair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Any sport without parents, honestly.
Because I could throw a kid out, no problem. But it's like you just look at it, and it's what are you getting? What are you giving, and what are you getting back, right? I think that you're right on with the real estate thing. That's why I
Investing in
do
what
it.
you know, and we know real estate. I mean, with being a contractor, we know what it
things are
costs to buy a piece of shit. You know what's gonna cost to fix it up, and are you gonna make money when you turn it over? I mean,
It took us a
know
couple to
this.
learn. We wanted it, when we bought a place, we fixed it up as if we were gonna live in there.
See, and that's
not the way to make money.
no,
well, and
Yeah.
but it's funny because I have a lot of friends, and can you say that again?
We fixed our places up as if we were gonna live there, and that is not the way to make money.
See, and I fully agree with that.
Yes.
But
Because it's true.
but my friends and then the people I manage for, right? They're throwing, I have a guy who I manage and I love him to pieces, good friend of mine. But he's like, nope, I want a place where tenants want to be. And I was like, tenants want to be in a fucking place. They don't care that you have the newest LVP. They don't care that you have granite countertops. Okay, you're not in high rent. You're not in Manhattan anymore, buddy. Right? Guess what? I can cut chicken on granite just as much as I can cut chicken on Formica. One just cost me 1/5, right? I was like, I offer a very basic thing. I was visiting my wife's grandparents yesterday. I was looking around and I was like, this is very basic, right? They still have the maple trim around the windows, the white walls, they have carpet, and I'm like, the refrigerator is still from the 1980s, and their countertops is Formica. And I was like, it's basic. They're living there, they're fine, they're doing it. And I look at like some of my places, and I go, yes, okay. Every once in a while, I will go in because I can find laminate flooring for cheap. It'll hold up longer than carpet. Knock on wood, hopefully. But I don't, and I don't know off of how I grew up. Like I grew up kind of poor, and so I don't make nothing I have is worth more than my house. I'll tell you that much, right? Like it's hard.
That's very similar.
Yeah.
I'm flipping a house right now. And granted, I'm still going to put in like Formica countertops and things.
I need to interject, 'cause if I don't interject, I'll forget about it.
No, please do.
Okay, and granite's supposed to last 20 years.
If not more, yeah.
You can put 3 brand new, really good Formica countertops in years.
Well, that's exactly it. Right? I mean, and that's what I was just talking to somebody because they're like, oh, it's going to cost me $2,500 for my countertop. And I said, what shit? I was like, I can get a 12-foot piece with prefab Formica countertop at Menards for $210. So I'm gonna pay a guy. I would pay him $200 to install the countertop. I was like, I'm at 400 and something bucks. I was like, you're at 25. Yeah, but mine's gonna last longer. No, it's not. If mine gets destroyed, I'm charging my tenant. If yours gets destroyed, you're still charging your tenant, but you're not gonna get your value out of it. Like, no way is a court just gonna go, oh yeah, hey, they broke the stone. Like, have a good day. I mean. And so,
there's no way I put granite in for tenants. No way.
Like, and then
Why would you do that? Yeah,
because
exactly.
there's people that like think that that's the way to go. I did tile. I'll never do tile again because I thought tile would last forever. I didn't know I was the only. I didn't know that there was people that had bowling balls that just threw the sun bitches down. Just break it
on your tile.
Just right in the middle of the floor too. It wasn't like it was the corner one that I could hide. It was literally just like they walked into here, they threw it in the middle one and said crack. I don't know how it happened. What do you mean you don't know how it happened? And all tenants will lie to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I just went and fixed an electrical plug today. Okay, this is exactly what happened. So their outlet on the left wall was working. It was loose. Guy tightened it up, and then the 2 outlets on the wall directly, let's say in front of you instead of the left, they're not working in neither of the lights. And I said, all right, so this all you did was tighten it up. Yep. When did you move that cord? Oh, it's been forever. Oh, that's bullshit. Like you said, it was plugged in here. Your ground wire is still literally in the outlet. And I said that doesn't make any sense. So I take the outlet apart, pull the ground piece out from the plug that's broken off the plug. I can see it clearly over there. And magically the outlet works and everything starts working. And I was like, it's fixed. I was like, don't tell me it's been 2 months. Like, don't tell me it's been months because now you're just making me go backwards when I could have had this fixed in 6 seconds, right? Full done, right? Like, and that's every tenant will lie because they don't want to pay for
it. Yeah.
So, I have a question.
Daily double.
It might be.
Answer daily double. Let's do it.
So, you're starting your business. You're starting to get busier. When do you know it's time to hire someone to help?
Well, that's a damn good question.
Especially since if you're hiring somebody, you're paying part of your profits out now.
When I started out in business, I was just looking to make money to feed my family.
You were everything. You were the
Yes.
electrician, you were the plumber, you were everything. I mean,
I
we,
did
you know,
it
as before we hired the subs,
Mhm.
Steve did it all.
Yeah, there were no subs.
Yeah,
I
well,
started, I poured the footings, I laid the
yes,
blocks,
yes,
did the construction work, did the electrical, the installation, the plumbing, the drywall. I didn't do painting, no, never did painting.
Nobody likes painting.
This whole time, this guy has never touched painting. I just turned one of my units and painted and bitched the entire time because I was like, God, I hate painting.
oh,
But this guy has gone his whole career never painting.
yeah, yeah.
I gotta figure out how to be successful like this.
I did a little painting for her. All she did was bitch and say it was
'Cause it
a
was
terrible
really
job.
bad.
No.
He did that on purpose, so we never asked him again.
Yeah, I'd work and, by the end of the day, I just couldn't aim. It had to do not so much with that job, because you do need help to lift things and stuff. But it was the other jobs that were coming in. I couldn't keep going fast enough to get this job done to move on to the next job.
And you know,
That's kinda
and customers don't understand when you keep putting them off.
They don't
So
care.
they don't care, they want their job done too. And so, right, right, would you say that that's
Mhm.
when it happened is because you had jobs coming in, you had to hire someone else to keep it
Actually,
going.
Our first helper
Mm.
was Steve Thor. Now he's Plainville kid.
Yeah.
Thor family, long
Thor
time,
family.
very respected, wonderful family.
Great musician.
And our teacher from high school, Bill Hott, I went to him, I said, hey, I kind of need a kid to help. He said, I got just a kid. So Steve Thor, he got out at noon, come out, we'd start working, we worked till 4 or 5 o'clock.
Steve Henderson Construction was an actual bona fide co-op company for Plano High School.
And I don't remember any tax credit coming our way.
Yeah, really, but he was.
I wonder if we can go back on taxes for that.
I don't know, I wonder, maybe.
You know what, I'm not gonna fool with the IRS.
Yeah,
What's
we
done
don't,
is done.
we don't care.
But we'd get done. And, I said, you know the guys down Gloucester Storage? Yeah, I know.
Okay,
pretty good.
Steve is only 17 years old.
Yeah, and I was 23, 24.
2, maybe.
My male dancing career went off, so I knew I was gonna
Damn.
stick with construction.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you figured it out after 6 months. It was only 6.
Anyhow, I'd give him, I don't know, whatever a 12-pack was, $5, $6. He'd come back with a 6-pack. I knew I had a good employee.
If you gave me money for a 6-pack, I would come back with the holiday 5-pack every time.
You're not 17.
I would have been. At
Yeah.
17, I would have come in with the holiday 5-pack every week. I would be like,
Holiday 5-pack.
here's your holiday 5-pack. I told you to buy 6 beers. They only sell 5-packs the entire time.
Well, I'm sure I was not any great motivational person or big important person in his life, but he did continue on to be a contractor. He's very, very successful and very good at what he does. He's a good kid. He's not a kid.
Yeah.
How old is he? Hell, he's 65.
Well, he was only 4 or 5 years younger than us, but yeah. Yeah. Okay, yes, he would be 65.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep, it's time to get him on. See what he's doing.
See what he has to
No,
say
I,
about Henderson Construction.
Well, Yvonne and I have, I don't know, changed my direction of where I want to go in life. No, notice my toes.
No, the people listening to us cannot notice your toes.
No, don't have to move in on. No, they are dirty as hell. I was walking in muck up to my knees down in the creek today to try and fix my irrigation. 2.5 hours. pumped my ass, used up all my good energy, and didn't do shit. Didn't solve
Didn't
anything.
solve the problem.
That really broke my
We
ass.
needed these big guys right here to be down there stomping around in that mug.
Oh, yeah.
Move it.
Yeah, I can see that happening
Yeah.
right away.
I might sink in the mud.
Good for you.
It'll,
Yeah.
People pay ththousands of dollars to have that muck put all
No
over their
shit.
bodies.
we're
Yeah.
gonna let you do
Yeah.
it for only, we only want a couple hundred apiece.
That sounds like a deal right there.
Sounds like a hard
I
pass for
think
me.
so.
I
That could,
I-
speaking of business, that could be a new business.
We can get some brown
I
wine.
was say, I was surprised. So we are in Steve and Yvonne's house. Like I will say you guys need to start renting this place out for weddings.
Do you?
That
You're
bar-
about the 27th person.
that-
You know why we don't?
because you want privacy and you guys are lame and don't like
Okay.
money. No, it's that. Why don't you?
We love money. But we're lazy.
No, and that's I mean, but honestly, you don't have to do it yourself, right? So again, it goes. You talked about it earlier. I wasn't sure if it was on the podcast or not. But you're like, hey, I'm going to rent out my cabin. So you can find
Okay.
people who are willing to rent out your stuff and tell them, hey, you have to clean everything up. You have to set everything up. We'll gladly let you borrow it for weddings.
Oddly enough, I believe
No.
we found that person, and I think we're in good shape for the
No.
cottage we rented.
No.
But this place,
We
if
you know
we'd
something.
been younger, maybe, but I don't think.
We've
so.
lived here for 20 years. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're 70 now. We were 50
When we moved
when
in.
we moved in.
My grandma and grandpa were 40 when they moved.
And we still had a lot of work to do at the place, and we were still working on it. Yeah, and we've been working on it for 20 years. But
We'll be working on it for.
if we had from the very beginning when we were 50 actually thought about that as a wedding venue, we would have been young enough then to pull it off. We're not now.
There's nothing you need to do. Again, you just
Oh, really?
you hire somebody, or you don't even hire
Okay,
somebody.
okay,
They pay you
yeah,
to borrow your stuff. You just say, hey,
but you
I'm
have,
gonna come do it.
but you have to trust those people with your property, and I don't trust people with my property. You know why? Okay,
Because people suck.
yeah, basically. And that barn that we have that was built in the 1870s could never be replaced. Ever. And if one little
Even-
cigarette or something electrical thing were to happen, the barn goes up in flames, it will never be replaced. And I can't risk that.
No.
That's why.
So she won't
That's
even
fine.
let me go in the barn anymore.
Well, I mean, that's probably good.
I think it is.
He can walk in the barn.
Oh,
Let me know when you want to start doing some woodworking up there. We'll make you some stuff.
Oh, you should see.
oh, you opened up a can. of worms.
You should see the live edge tables he's doing right now. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. Yeah. Oh no.
You're retired.
Doing what I want to do.
Good man.
So I have another question.
Of course.
So, being a business owner,
Okay.
friend calls you up, says, "Hey, I need you to do this. I want a discount." How do you deal with that?
I usually don't. Usually they don't ask that.
So you've been lucky in that aspect.
Okay, here's what
Well,
friends.
they know me good enough.
Okay, here's what friends do though. Here's what friends do though, is they call and they just want it done. They don't ask for a discount. They don't offer anything. They just want the services done because they're a friend. Can't you come and like trim my room out just because you know how? Yeah, I'll be there to help you. Maybe.
No, you
but-
don't want their help.
I mean, no, that has happened many
Oh, yeah.
times.
I mean,
And needless to say, no longer our friends.
well, that's, I mean, I don't know. I deal with that quite a bit, right? Like, hey, can I get a place or whatever? And I again, when I was talking about my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, if you're giving me drinks and we're just
Exactly.
shooting the shit, yes, okay. Normally, I don't know what I would have made off of that. I don't care. The fact is like I did it because I wanted to, and you were hospitable enough to give me drinks, and we're sitting around like. I go to one of my best friend's house and I look at his windows aren't trimmed out. Like, I'm that guy who'd be like, man, you just had the kid. When are we gonna get those windows trimmed? When you coming over? Oh, let's do it tomorrow, right? Like because
But
again,
that friend helps you, correct?
oh
I mean,
man,
he's there at
at
the
the drop of a
saw,
hat.
measuring, exactly.
100%. Well, but
He
he's also
has friends that say, I would like this done, and Steve comes over and they walk, oh, I'm gonna play around tonight now, see ya.
yeah. No, and it's tough because like I'm okay if people play around at 9, but so like my buddy who I'll help him trim out his window or whatever. I was out in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. My wife's brakes somehow destroyed. I was like, dude, her car did this, and this was 2 weeks ago. Now her car's dead. And I'm like, hey, he actually said, hey, if you need anything, let me know. And I was like, can you go check on her car? And he was like, yep, my lunch break, I'll be there. He went and looked, he did this, and he's like, hey, this is what I see. I was like, he goes, after work, I'll do this. And I was like, so it's kind of an even
A
trade.
reciprocal
100%. Like,
exactly.
and I have other friends where it's, hey, I need this. And
Exactly.
so like, if it comes around, it goes around. Like, I'm all
As
about
long as it's a reciprocal thing forever and a day, will we help?
But then on the other hand, I had this one friend, very, very good friend.
Yep.
Redid their kitchen. Charged them the final price. And they said, well, we're not gonna pay that.
No.
And I didn't say anything.
Yeah, he sounds like
And they said, we're gonna give you $1,500.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
and
was
then
drunk for 3 weeks. They
there's
didn't even know
translate.
where in the hell I was.
I know that Steve did our kitchen. I think I said that the last time.
Oddly enough, I think.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Oh, sorry, that was our kitchen. Yeah, because Steve gave us the final. We're sitting there talking about prices, and Dawn's like, "Do we want to get quotes?" No. Why? Because I trust Steve. She's like, "All right." She
Okay.
goes, "But I don't want to hear that you're mad about a price later." I'm like, I don't give a shit what he charges me. I know him. I trust him. It's all I care about.
And what a beautiful kitchen.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And I know she
Oh,
still loves it.
She absolutely loves
I
it.
mean, it's like before the first board broke off. I mean,
Well,
gosh,
a couple of those. That could have happened to anybody.
it's
So-
like, I was opening a bottle of beer and the whole side part of the cabinet came off, and I was like, I'll just mix it.
That might have been the worst.
We're gonna-
Before Steve then.
Yeah,
Front took over.
we're gonna. Oh yeah, don't go there.
Yes, the shoot right.
Yes, we're not gonna go there. So, let's say Steve quoted me 15.
Yeah.
Okay,
1,500 for a full kitchen. Steve, you're hired.
it was definitely. It was definitely 1,500. No, let's say he quoted me 15,000.
Yeah.
And let's say he presented me a final bill of like 12.
Yeah.
And Dawn goes, "All right, that's bullshit." I'm like, "Yup." She goes, he's screwing himself on this. He had to pay Brent to just drive up for 10 minutes of work 3 different days.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yup." She goes, "We're paying him more money." I'm like, "Whatever you want to do, dear."
I'm dealing with this right now, on my property, and they'll never listen, which is fine. Doesn't matter. But like, I have an uncle who's the greatest contractor in the world, besides you, Steve, of course.
I'm retired.
It's, but so like he was, and money didn't happen to be the same for them. And I was like, hey, and so he's working on my stuff. He gave me a price per hour. My wife's like, hey, is he charging what he should be? And I said, hell no. Like, he should be double. And I shelled out a bunch of money, and I was annoyed about it. And she goes, but you're getting this. And I was like, yeah, okay. So like, my uncle's worth double. His son that's working for him is worth 50%, right? Like I said, so I'm breaking even, and
Balance it
I'll
out.
tell you this, right? Because like I'm not, it's fine. I'm not there. I'm not doing it. But like he's painting my cabinet doors, and it's taking 3 days. Paint cabinet doors, and I'm like, okay, that's 24 full hours of hard work. Like, and it took him it took him 5 days. They're still not done because he did 2 days of cleaning the cabinets, 3 days so far of painting, and they're still not done. And I'm like, I can have these things painted in 2 days, right? Like,
Okay, for the benefit of the doubt though, the preparation before he paints is the most important thing.
sure, which took the 2
Ever.
days.
Well, but that means that the paint that he puts on stays.
Yes, but it's
Okay.
not.
I don't think that's the point he's trying to
Okay.
make.
The point I'm making
I'm
is the
sorry.
value of who the contractor is. And I get where you're going. If it was my uncle and it took him this, like it would have been a higher
Oh, I see
quality.
what you're saying. Okay.
So, and so my brother was giving me crap. He's like, you shouldn't be paying him this price. And they go, look, this is what they quoted, this is what they have. And, I mean, at the moment, like I know I'm hemorrhaging some money and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be over my budget, but I know I'm getting still a good deal, right? Like on labor
Regardless,
wise,
you are.
I mean, I'm flipping a place that should take me a little bit more, but I said I came in with a lower budget, but
This is the place that
you came in and grabbed stuff.
it is, and you found basically on Facebook.
Yeah.
So Nick's just poking around Facebook one day, and these people asked a tiny question. Hey, moving dad out of the house and needs to know where to dump this stuff. But I don't remember.
They're having an estate sale.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And Nick goes, hey, you want to sell that house? Let me know. I pay cash. And then somebody else goes, he's not kidding, by the way. And then I chimed in and I said, yeah, seriously, if you want to sell that house, Nick will pay you cash. And Nick bought the house.
Say the kid responded. He gave me kind of a price. Within 16 minutes, I was there. We shook hands, and I ended up purchasing a house. Right. So, it's a matter of how you find them.
And there again is social media.
Mm-hmm.
There again is, which is something our generation, because we are 70 years old. Are we boomers? Is that what we're
You're a
considered?
boomer, Jess.
We're
Are you
boomers.
really?
I guess we're boomers. So,
Borderline, evidently.
which is something. Okay, for instance, when we want to find out as boomers, when we want to find out if a restaurant's open, we call them.
Yep.
You
No.
I hop online and I love
You
it.
No.
go online and you look, but
Yeah.
we
No.
literally call
That
them.
is so unreliable.
I mean,
Thank you.
It is unreliable
It's
at
just the way
times,
we
yes.
so David and he's a technology guy.
Yeah.
And they all get pissed at me, right? Because like we'll talk about going somewhere. Oh, I wonder if they're open. Well, today's kind of a special day, and I was like, and they're over here just all bullshitting about what's going on, what day it is, how special it is, if they're going to be open, and I'm just sitting here. Hey, yeah, you got a room for 4? You got okay, cool. Hey guys, we're just gonna head there. Like yes, they're available. Oh, hey, their voicemail said no, they're not available.
okay, so you
Oh.
guys,
If there's a question, we
You-
will call.
you
Oh,
do call.
yes.
No,
Okay.
I am a caller. These people
All right.
are looker uppers.
I like to hear that.
Oh my gosh, I cannot like.
I will use the internet to look it up and
I am.
call.
I am.
The exchange doesn't occur.
Which I didn't call about, right? I just
Yeah.
trusted everybody.
So Nick's sitting here going, "Oh my God, the beer exchange sounds like the greatest place ever. They play it like the stock market." Nick shows up at like noon, and they don't do that until 6 p.m. And he's like, "This bar sucks. I hate this place."
Yep. Well, it's because I mean, that's all I was told. Nobody told me that it started this time. You would assume
been there in like 5 months.
you would assume the whole time. If you've been told about something your whole time, you wouldn't assume that there's different hours. I assume the bar is open. That's what they're doing the whole time.
I mean, it'd be awesome if they were doing it the whole time.
Right.
You
But-
make half off of Michigan Cancer and happy hour.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But no,
9 to
so
6.
I am. I'm old. I'm very old
Okay,
school.
you're old school. Then.
It's like people are asking me constantly, how do I apply for your unit? Well, you schedule a time to see it. You let me know if you like it, and then I'll give you a paper application. And oh, okay. So granted, because if you can't take the time out of your day, like I don't want you to throw. And this is the problem I have with tenants and people bitching on a constant basis about, oh, I'm spending so much money on an application. Stop applying for things before you're guaranteed it, right? Like, this. I'm not a freaking credit card. I'm not going to pre-approve you and go, hey, yep, you're approved. Oh, you're approved for something I don't have available. Like, right?
Application.
Truly,
Yeah.
people that
Oh,
apply
yeah.
have to apply.
Oh yeah.
But
you have to pay
yes,
a fee.
Holy
Yeah.
shit! Did
Yeah,
we
well,
miss the boat?
That I guess.
Well,
so.
Nowadays you have
but-
to do like
and here's
background checks.
background
and stuff
checks and
like
credit checks. You ever do background and credit checks?
Kinda.
No, right, and that's
Kinda,
I like to
You
use
say
like,
right, like yeah,
no.
I called a reference.
Kinda.
So like, what I, and that came up in my TikTok was the fact that like boomers, right? You talk about how hard it was and how you did all this. Oh yeah, when we bought a house, they but credit technically didn't become available until like 1980 something, right? So like when they were buying houses, they walked into a bank and they said, "Oh yeah, fuck, here's a house," right? Like this is kind of the money you make. You didn't really have your credit checked because it wasn't a thing.
Credit score started in, I believe, 1987.
Yeah, something like that. It's crazy. So I mean, now I can check for evictions. And so I don't pay for that.
Oh.
You pay for me to draw that information.
We could have used that with that
I
one
think
lady.
we had our nephew do that for us because
Yeah,
he's,
actually, the last.
yeah,
place
the
we
last
did it.
one we did, we had our
Albert,
nephew do that for us.
Albert.
Yes,
You know Kyle
How
Bird.
about you, Mike? You know Albert?
he would be too young for Mike.
Okay.
'Cause he was.
Did you
I just think
call
1
Mike
year
last
after me.
month, or-
Mike is an old
There's a lot
fuck.
of old fuck getting involved here.
Well, Mike was a senior when I was a freshman, so Kyle would have been in 8th grade.
I'm closer to 50 than I am 40.
I'm closer to 45 than I am 50.
45.
Okay, well,
There you go.
But yeah, so I run a background to see what they have because and people ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, what do you look for?" And I was like, "Look, I don't care that you owe college debt. That doesn't bother me at all. I don't care that you owe medical bills. Everybody has them. But what I do care about is have you paid your utility bills? Have you paid your past owners? Right? Because if you owe your utilities, that means you don't care about the house that you're
That was
renting.
the only questions we ever asked.
Yeah.
And we got recommendations. We were brand new. This was the very first
Lord.
place we bought, but it was second year. This lady wanted to apply to buy this place. I called her up and I talked to her. I said, "Well, you're gonna need recommendation from your manager and something else." She said, "Well, wait a minute. My manager's just walking by right now. You want to talk to her?" I said, "Yeah."
Hello. Bing,
I
bing, bing,
don't
bing, bing,
think
bing.
that was her manager.
Bing, bing, bing.
I think she lied to me.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, and you have to be able to read to that aspect of things, right? It's like
I trust
and,
people.
well, and you always want to trust them, right? And so what I'll get people to do kind of the same thing. Oh, they're walking by. Oh, hi, yeah, I'm Tammy's manager.
Hell yeah.
Hey, you don't introduce yourself like that. You say, "Hi, I'm Nick. How can I help you?" Right? Like if you're telling me what you do, like that means you've already been
Right off the bat.
cued of how it is. And then I go, "Okay, hey, how long has Tammy been working there?" "Oh, I think 3 years." I didn't ask for you to think. I asked for you to know, right? Go find this file. We'll pull it up. Tell me what it is. I don't want your opinions. I don't want this. Like, I want facts. I want statistics, and I want to see how this works. Right? I want you to tell me every. Oh, hey, when I go to other property management companies, I make a phone call, and they're like, "Oh, you can send me an email." Nope. If I wanted to send an email, I would have sent you an email. I want to talk to you. Do you know this tenant? No, I don't. Okay, great. Like,
Bye.
just say, and oh, sorry, I couldn't get a reference, right? Like, if your landlord reference can't come through, that's not how I'm going to work. Like, you get these red flags on a constant basis.
So the red flags would be for you, would be the utility bills. What about the past evictions? I mean,
That's a huge.
I heard
I
you
think
say
that
that.
would, oh my God.
That would be a huge red flag.
I don't.
Yeah.
I do not take anybody with a past eviction.
Okay.
Especially if they owe on the eviction.
Okay.
Still, like you haven't paid your past landlord, even though you got evicted. Well, that was when I was younger. I don't care.
So
People always say, "Well, I'm different than from the past." Okay, show me you're different by paying the fucking person because you owe it.
Yeah, paying
It
them
literally
now.
says, it literally shows that you're okay with your loss and you took the L in court. Pay that person, right? If a person had a 10-year-old eviction and came to me and showed me that their judgment is closed and said, "Yes, I was evicted. I paid the landlord," because in the court physically said the landlord won. If you paid that guy and said,
Right.
"Hey, you won, you did everything,"
Then
I will look at you and go, "You know what? In the past 10 years, you've probably changed, right?" But if you didn't pay it until last
How
week
many
because you won a
times
place,
has that happened to you?
0. Right? I had a person come to me and go, "Oh, I owe $2,300 to my old landlord." Good, pay him $2,300, then come to me. Right? If you still got the extra money, we'll talk. But until you pay that guy, I'm not taking your money because guess what? You're gonna have that's 23 to him, 23 to me, and I'm not gonna deal with it. Like
We don't miss that stuff.
I don't blame you. It's a pain in the butt. So
Well, and Nick says he's old school. Nick is so old school
Yeah.
that let's say Nick owns 100 things. Nick goes to the bank on the first, pay for all 100 things with cash
well,
Then you get a receipt.
and get a receipt.
And get
very much every time. And
If I only had some cash, I would.
Okay.
One of my favorite stories on that too is when they applied the money to the wrong mortgage, and then Nick was overdue on the mortgage, and he literally had to scream at him, going,
It was their mistake.
"It was their mistake." He goes, "I came here and paid it in cash in front of
Hello?
you. Where the hell is my money?"
And you had a receipt back. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, where did your money go?
Yep. It went to a different mortgage. I looked at it. Let's just call it round numbers. So I paid. Let's say I pay 700, 800, 700, and 500, right? So all of a sudden it showed 700, 1,600, and 500. And I said, you think I paid $1,600 over here? And I just said, F this property. I don't even want this property anymore. That's what you think I did. They're like, no, we'll fix that. And I was like, yeah, you will, real quick. Like, it's just that kind of stuff.
Okay, so why do you do cash? Is there a reason behind that?
Because I don't know any better.
No, there's nothing wrong with doing it.
No, I
there's not. He is also not good with
I've been
technology.
told. I don't know anything about it.
So like,
yeah. So why aren't you doing this electronically? Through your
oh
phone?
god, I don't know. How to do
He doesn't know
shit.
how.
Oh,
Get out! No, that
Oh.
seems horrible. Like, I'm gonna log in,
I
pay
understand.
7 different mortgages.
I
and I just-
completely understand what
We're
you're saying
not.
and what you're doing.
I
But
can walk in with $5,300, throw it down, and say,
But
hey,
at-
700 here, 800 here, 1,200
yeah,
here.
yeah.
No.
But at your age, I'm thinking that you should be doing everything electronic.
Yeah, that's
my,
not
my,
his way.
my wife has not paid a bill without logging into her stupid account, and she pisses me off because she'll I go in and I pay a few bills, right, and I'm like, all right, I go to DTE Energy, right, which is, you guys have consumers or whatever you have down here. I just log in, I go pay the bill, pay with this card, submit, and she'll go in and she'll be like, all right, pay this bill from this account, and then it takes F amount of days to send a stupid check and hope it gets there before the holiday. Don't hope, right? Make it happen. Like,
Yeah.
I want instant guarantee,
Okay.
and I want it right now.
She still writes.
I write more checks than anybody I know. I mean,
Question,
yeah,
just because we're old fucks,
that's me.
I just don't do anything electronically. I write checks because I don't trust.
We don't drop them.
I just don't trust
No,
that my bank account with all of these account numbers being hacked and I just don't trust it. So,
They can.
is that a bona fide thing?
It's a bona fide thing, but I mean, they can steal your information whether you.
have a check or
Yeah, whether you write a check, whether you do it electronically, it doesn't matter. The biggest thing to protect yourself is to make sure you're dealing with a reputable bank that will give you your money back.
Because
So,
people can
yeah.
steal bills and right out of your mailbox.
Well, I
Okay, I had that happen.
Mhm.
I didn't know this,
Mhm.
that you can steal somebody's check
Mhm.
out of their mailbox,
Which happened to us.
which happened to us, and they've got your electronic numbers, that you can buy blank checks
Mhm.
at Office Depot and on the computer
Mhm.
make your own checking account. I didn't know that
Oh,
could
yeah.
happen. And that's what happened to us.
criminals
They
are
stole-
getting better and better.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes,
We thought our
And-
mailbox was as
was the
safe
safest
as
thing
Fort Knox.
in the world.
Boy, it ain't. It's just got no lock on it.
Yep.
And the little red flag says, "Yep, there's something in here.
Yep.
Come
It's
take
very-
it."
Yeah,
Or
come take our
something
checks
like
out of our mailbox. And that's what,
Maybe
and that's what this girl did.
Mhm.
It wasn't
Or
the
the
first
fourth.
time.
Yeah.
And you know what she got? You know what she got?
Hmm.
I was, okay, granted from me, who knows where else she did it. From me, it was $1,200, $1,500.
Yeah.
Don't do that again,
Yeah.
you naughty girl, don't ever do that again. We're done.
I mean, it
Four
doesn't
times
sound like
we're
you're
losing loser.
Forgive here to me.
4-time loser.
Yeah.
And she did not go to jail for my inconvenience.
That's maybe a letter that doesn't
What
have
about-
a info in it. I might put that in my mailbox, otherwise everything goes into the
No, exactly. I take
directly
it
into the post office.
to the post office and,
But even then, you never know if a letter order would have to pull
Well,
something.
Well, I've had my United Bank compromised a couple times. One time I had a $500 charge from England. And
I didn't know you went there.
I did. So I literally walked into the bank and I said, all right, this is what's up. And they're like, yep, we'll get that taken care of. You're going to see it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
If anything bounces, we will take care of it. I'm like, my
Yeah.
account's not going to bounce.
yeah, the bank,
They're like, we just need you to know in a couple of days, you'll have all your money back and it won't be your issue.
yeah, the bank really took care of it for us too. They were very good about it. Oh, you know who wasn't? Myers.
Oh, yeah.
Myers.
No,
Myers had to have the police report and everything else. They had to have everything before they would.
They stood right there.
Oh, this is funny. Okay, this is funny.
No, you can't tell this on the air.
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
No,
okay, you guys,
you're going to jail, not me.
you
Are you in
guys
the
are,
middle of it?
you guys are looking around and seeing the wildlife on the walls,
The
right?
Bob,
Right.
the Bob White.
The bob white and the sparrow that's
Yeah.
up here. And so we had Allen County sheriffs here when this happened with the bank. And the lady sheriff was a veteran. She was a veteran.
Yeah.
But there was a rookie with
20
her.
years better.
Yeah, there was a rookie with her. So he was it was his job. He has notepad out. He was so efficient, he was so cute. He was
Just like
taking
Greg
he
now.
was like he was taking down the notes, and the whole time he was asking questions, and he was taking notes down. This veteran sheriff is looking around.
Well, I didn't realize it right away until she started.
She's kinda-
smiling.
She's looking around. She's kind of smiling. Okay, because there because there might be
Well, don't do this.
there might be
Don't do this.
Well,
Well,
Talk about that off the air.
we'll talk about that
Yeah.
off air, but she was smiling and she wasn't here for that. She was here for the bank fraud,
right.
is what she was here for. But anyway, it was really fun.
Yeah.
And the bank really took care of us. Myers did not, but I got my money back eventually.
I've seen that as a typical thing when first responders come because
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Dawn fell and tore her leg open.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the two firemen
Yeah,
came.
and she's bleeding to
She-
death.
She's
She
sitting
was
there bleeding, and the
Yeah.
two firemen are like, "Hey, what is this place? What do you do here?"
Mhm.
And she's sitting there giving
Stop the bleeding first.
no.
Hello?
Well, they're not the paramedics; they're just the firemen. They
Yeah,
don't have anything else
no,
to do.
They're not doing the drug pressure yet.
So they're
Yeah.
like, "Tell me about this." So she's sitting there telling them all about the business while they're sitting there going, the ambulance should be here soon."
Are you starting to feel faint at all?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
If I'm feeling faint, tell me what the hell's going on.
Yeah. So now my next question, we talked about what one of your biggest regrets of business was. What is one of your best success stories in business?
How do you mean that? Well,
Yeah.
No, I mean it in the way that you want it to be. Whether it's, hey, I made the most money at this time, or whether I helped out this person in this situation, whether it's
What are you most proud of?
here's my epiphany that made my business get to the next level. Any way you want to look at it.
what I am the most proud of is 80 to 85% of our customers are all repeat customers.
Yeah.
And
And you have to think, I mean, that says a lot. If someone recommends you or hires you again, that means a lot.
we have put roofs on houses that wore out, and we put another roof on their house. We're dealing with kids of who we dealt with their parents, and it's all just over and done with for me. I mean, I had my time, I did what I did. Now I've got my time.
Now, did you sell your business?
Nope,
Our son has it.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah.
so just gave it away scot free. No
No
questions asked.
Not
No,
exactly.
we talked about your subs and all that. So
He earned
He
this
earned it the hard.
business.
He earned it the hard way,
then
one
some.
nail at a time.
yeah.
Yeah, he had to drive up to my house for 10-minute sanding job on drywall.
Well,
I would have done that, but I was busy.
I know.
I think you and I were doing something.
Probably. So we're leaving the regional finals.
Yep.
Okay. And my wife has always said, Steve is just the biggest bullshit flirt there is. I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, he definitely is. So we're walking behind our JV coach, who's Caitlin's age, Steve. David, I don't know how you do it. You're always coaching with these young, pretty girls. I just don't know how you do it. She turns around, she's like, well, thank you. We get to the bar. He goes, hey, honey, I know you don't want to help two old fucks like us, but if you could help us, that'd be great. And I'm like,
I have that picture on my phone right now.
I love that picture. That's a good
Now,
picture of us.
You and I, we had,
A couple cocktails.
yes. Yeah, see, he's
Couple.
got a command of the language
I
I
do.
never had. But actually, you and I got out of there just right.
Yes.
Because that was starting to be filled up with these husband and wife people were coming in there, and possibly we weren't being politically correct.
Somebody was probably a little loud and a little
Yes.
cursing.
No shit.
Yeah, shocking,
it
isn't it?
was a bartender.
It might have
Yeah,
been.
it wasn't David
Might
and
have
I. We were talking about what Bible study we were going to go to.
I was talking to Nick on my way down about we had to have a meeting with our boss because she wanted to know exactly what we do. So I had actually suggested that we had it in the podcasting room at Break Room Therapy because I don't want to go to the office. I have to put on real clothes. So she comes and she brings some new employee she hired, and we're upstairs, and I drop an F-bomb and I go, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna do my best not to curse, but that probably isn't gonna work out real well for me. And she goes, that's all right, we're all adults here, I don't mind.
Now,
That's great, because it's gonna happen.
I might be wrong,
Yes.
but I know the two people that might have taught the F-bomb.
Yeah, probably.
You're
I'm
welcome.
going to say that I was one of them.
You probably were.
And
Oh,
I
he
think
did.
possibly your mom might have
It's
said it.
entire.
I would
all
think,
the females
honestly,
in
my
that
grandmother
family
more than my mother.
Well,
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Daddy, Aunt Sue, his mom.
Oh, yeah, they all.
All of
I mean, not nearly as much as I do, but oh, yeah,
Yeah.
them. Yeah, but when you heard it from all three of them, and
all the time.
yeah, you just kind of got used to it. Just get set.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was talking to Dawn because, I love my mom, but sometimes talking to her is hard because she doesn't talk to anybody. She just talks at them. And I told Dawn, I'm like, well, she would get home from work and my aunt would get up from her nap and the three of them would just sit there around the kitchen table and talk at each other for 2 hours and smoke and chain smoke.
Yeah.
Ah,
So I want to get into the business side of things.
Okay.
How did you set your pricing?
Well, they say what you're supposed to do is set your pricing by how busy you are. If you're so busy that you can't keep up, you're supposed to raise your price. I kind of set my pricing, am I making a good living? And if I'm making what I feel is a good living, I'm charging enough money. And of course, then I started drinking and all.
All right. I mean, and that's
Stephen,
It was according to current prices. I was,
you talk to other contractors or
yeah, well, you give a bid, somebody wants to do a kitchen. They get 3 bids, and one's 15, one's 16, one's 17. You kind of, learn from that. Sure.
okay, but you have to tell them your line that you always use.
Which one was it?
The line was,
'Cause I had
look,
several.
I may not be the lowest price.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
I will tell you.
Had you done that
I
before?
think I might. He already knows it.
Okay, so you already done that.
No, I say he hasn't told me, but I just,
Oh,
just
That's
say,
what I'd say.
something Steve and I have in common. We
okay.
both happen to know how to
Okay,
sell
yes,
things.
that was it.
I'm not gonna be your cheapest bid, and if that's what you're looking for, then you and I are probably not gonna do business. But if you're looking for good quality work, good materials, and someone to stand behind the job, then you should think about us doing business.
Yep. Well, that's, and the biggest key is to hold yourself to that, right? Like, I have again, we go back to my office, right? And my office won't listen to this, but I have a contractor who, he puts a 1-year labor warranty on everything that he does, which blows my freaking mind. And he went in and he flipped a house in less than a week. I'll tell you that. Okay, so there was a few things that weren't perfect. And it comes back in, it's like, hey, this, picks out a bunch of stuff. And I was like, and they're like, oh, you gotta fire him. And I was like, no, all I have to do is send him back in to go fix those couple things. Like, he'll be fine. It was no questions asked. I was like, hey, I need you to go take care of this. Okay, got it. Oh, and then they're just like, nope, he's got to go. And I was like, oh, like, I literally quit.
They're wrong.
I quit over having to stand behind my guy. It's like, I refuse to fire this guy. He's willing to stand behind his work. He's willing to put his name on it. I'm willing to put my name on this guy.
Why the hell would you want to fire him?
They're the dumbest people I know because, and again, if they listen, it's whatever. But so I have a guy who can flip a place in a week and a half, let's call it, right? While I have somebody else who's been taking 6 months now to do the exact same job, if not less. But the quality's great. I don't care that your quality is that much better. 6 months without rent, that's a shit ton. Like, I don't care who you are, I can't afford that. Like,
the payments alone you have to make in that 6 months are gonna be big. But getting back to standing behind work,
Yep.
we made a mistake. I stood behind my work
Every time.
Good job.
20 years on the road. We made a mistake.
Well, that's good.
Luckily, we didn't have that many.
I mean, once in a while, you're gonna have this thing, right?
First
Like,
after 20 years, when they call and say, maybe their roof isn't quite that, okay? And believe me, we've had customers do that,
Hey,
that after 20
20-year warranty
years,
single. This
all you get out of your roof, we're not giving you anymore.
Yep.
But
I did
but there are people who have done
a lot of roofing.
that.
I used to know how, I'm gonna say I probably did, I don't know,
At least
10,000, 15,000
Wow.
square. Boy, you gotta remember, this is 50 years.
I'm gonna say,
that's not, I mean, that's
in
actually
our
pretty low.
community,
That's
I bet
pretty low.
you've done 25% of the roofs in our community.
Well,
I would say
unfortunate the fact that I can drive down the street in Plainville that I did not work on.
Are you the dad that does that?
Am I the
He
one?
does, he is
Yeah.
the one who points out when we're driving by,
I did
oh
that.
yes, not
I
just
worked
the
in that.
dad,
I did that.
the husband,
Yep.
who points out the houses that he's worked on.
Oh,
I
that's me.
point him out to Lizzie.
And you do that to me too.
I do this to my daughter. I manage that.
Yeah.
I did repairs on that. I flipped that. I own that one. I did that. I've been in that house, and she's like, "I don't care, Dad." And I was like, "You will someday."
Yep.
Say, you will someday, because someday you're gonna look back and go, "Man, my dad has touched 90% of Grand Rapids, right?" Like, in
See,
one way or another.
And you were talking about earlier about how, someone who flips it in weeks or whatever it is,
Yeah.
they flip it in. Our business was so much different than that.
Yeah.
We couldn't do that. We had to, with the jobs that we did, had to,
Well, we
because we live,
specialize.
first of all, because we live here. So anything that was done had to be done forever, not forever, but for many, many years to come, because we lived here.
What?
We lived in the community, and it had to, we couldn't.
Well,
It's
and,
reputation.
well, and you look at it. Like,
Exactly.
David talks about his kitchen, right? And he let's say it's $15,000, and I go,
That beautiful kitchen you talking
really,
about?
there's zero chances you're ever going to see me spending $15,000
Exactly,
on a kitchen,
exactly.
right? I get
Unless it was for your own personal self
that's
and
exactly
a home
so
that, exactly.
you didn't do the MDF board. You didn't,
No,
like the
no,
prefab. and-
No,
Yeah,
No.
they had MDF back then, but
but we didn't use it.
But you're not, you're using the hardwood, you're using these types of things. So, when I go to a
Right.
kitchen, I mean, I'm quoting my kitchen's at $5,500, right? Like,
Right.
I got 6 uppers, 6
Right.
lowers, and I got a countertop.
And that, and that's okay.
Yep.
In your situation, that's perfect
Yep.
and exactly what you have to do. In our situation, that's.
No, it's a, you had,
Yeah.
and you're doing the homeowner
Yeah.
versus the rental, right? Because that's
Exactly.
why our business is completely.
Exactly.
any rentals we did for,
Okay, you never worked for anybody else in the rental game.
No,
Okay, so that's what I say.
no, because they wouldn't hire us.
Because you're too expensive.
Because Steve wouldn't do that.
It's a,
Right,
I get it. I deal with it on a constant basis.
right.
I just had I woke up this morning 6 a.m. and then 7 a.m. I had a phone call. Hey, I have these people out here for a roof. There's 6 layers of shingles on the roof instead of 3.
Holy Toledo.
Every piece of decking is completely rotted, and they're worried that the trusses are going to be bad.
you won't know till you get there.
Correct. And so they're like, hey, it's a minimum of $7,000 to $8,000 extra for 3 extra layers, and plus every piece of decking has to go. And so I had to call the owner, and I was like, hey, just letting you know. And he's like, $15,000 for a roof. He goes, look, the house is worth $20,000. No chances in my touch.
Yeah.
I was like, selling a land contract. That's the best thing you can do at this moment, right? Like,
Yeah.
hope and pray you can get out of the damn thing. But it's in Muskegon. Granted, I say 20. It's a $25,000 house. It's not. I mean, really, that's
But
what
still,
Yeah,
you're
still,
putting,
you're gonna,
15,000. You're more than half your money into a roof.
you might wanna do a Jewish lightning.
Yep, I was saying, right? Like, sorry, it didn't work.
Okay, I probably should have said that over here.
I was honestly thinking burn the damn thing down, start over.
Okay, and that's what I meant by that.
No.
Okay, not any of
I
them.
doubt there's that many district attorneys listening.
I doubt
Okay,
it.
You know,
And I mean, we're not saying it's
it
gonna
happens. We're just saying that's what you should do.
you shouldn't do that, but it could happen and other people do.
No, and it's, I told him, I said, wait, I said, look, you got a roof. I was like, I patched a little bit of spot that we have.
Are you gonna have to edit that, David?
No.
I said, what?
We're very professional here, we don't edit much.
Tearing up. And I was like, the only thing I would do is now I would honestly just wait until a windy day or something like that and have shingles fly off. I was like, once you have that, just claim your insurance, right? Your $2,500, you're getting a brand new roof at that point, no matter what the cost is. So I was like,
If they're that damn lucky.
I mean, it's six layers of shingles. You'll make it lucky enough.
And then we could do a whole other podcast on just insurance,
Oh yeah.
but we're not gonna do that right now. Sure, we're not. David doesn't wanna do that, but insurance.
I think we ought to do a podcast on mixing how to make
Oh,
various.
I
drinks
agree, because I think,
correctly.
are we not at the time of the podcast where I'm supposed to be getting an old fashioned?
I think we are at that point. in the
Or
podcast.
a Manhattan.
And here, I thought she was gonna forget about that.
No, I'm not.
Thank you for the drink, Mom.
I'm,
Yeah. So it sounds like we're gonna wrap it up and start drinking a little bit.
I
well,
think that
I
might
don't
happen.
know if that's the case, but either or you can verbally over the broadcast, tell them how you're making my
No, I think that's a separate podcast.
old fashioned.
Let's see. I'm gonna
I will
make-
say, I think this is gonna end up being a
We got some
series with
orange
Steve and
shades
your
over
podcast.
there,
We
too.
love
I
that.
like others.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to do this again to get even more
I
information.
don't think I'm a producer on your podcast, so don't listen to anything I've got to say.
All right,
Although
listen all the time.
Henderson Construction could.
We would be
Sponsor.
willing to sponsor
There you go.
that podcast.
We do work for beer.
We do work for beer.
But
Now, you don't have to really mix beer that much.
Yeah, it's good.
let's see.
We,
podcast.
We've had some sponsors. Elbert sponsored us a growler.
The Still Brewing,
Destel Brewing gave us an entire 6-pack.
Coors
Ooh,
Light
an
seltzers.
entire
An
six-pack?
entire 6-pack. Coors Light gave us seltzer, which was
Woo-hoo.
gross.
Yeah.
Um,
You get a Bud Light seltzer too?
no. Michigan Wine Company
Yep.
gave us their sweet cider. It was delicious.
Grand Armory.
Mike thinks we should go out to Michigan Wine Company and do a day podcast because they're only open till 6 p.m. Grand Armory had us up for a tour. So while we're having the meeting today, the new girl, Emily is her name. See, I remember. She saw the Grand Armory sticker. She goes, "That's a really good place." And I went, "Yeah, we had a lot of fun there. They gave us a tour of the brewery, and we drank beer that was bottled the day before, and it was awesome."
The day of.
It might have been the day of.
I
Well.
think that we can do just a little bit better than that in sponsoring.
We're always happy for a sponsor.
Are you making me an old fashioned?
I don't think, me letting him drink Pride beer is
Okay.
a true sponsor.
Yes,
The bitters are on
I
top.
may have bought some of the beer that Nick was drinking, but
I mean my wife has done that as well, and
Yes.
not technically a sponsorship. So
And
that's okay.
there should be,
Oh, they're
Any
getting
kind of
real
whiskey.
serious over it.
Nick, you want me to wrap this up?
he's
So,
gonna wrap it up. He
Thank
does-
you so much. Say like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. We appreciate all the feedback. We appreciate our great guests for hosting us tonight, and
How'd
we
you
look
feel?
forward to next week.
How'd you feel about your Blakes?
My Blake's was
Cider Boys.
Cider Boys.
Sorry,
To say
Cider
palm
Boys was
cherry.
good.
You know, it was like candy, so it made it a little bit different for me.
it was okay.
Yeah, it's a, the first one I was like, wasn't what I wanted because I was feeling Bud Light, and then the rest of them went down really well.
I will say I'm impressed with the Black Butte
and
non-alcoholic. That was really good. So was
my
the
mix of
Fallen.
different cider boys was good.
You like those? All right. So thanks for joining us again. We'll get this one posted soon-ish. I'll say soon-ish because I still haven't posted Charlie's episode from Wednesday because I'm kind of behind on things. But as usual, we will hopefully be joining you next Tuesday. We're gonna have possibly a special guest in the studio to talk about coins, if not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
You've dialed in to Bucks and Brews. You might hear something you can use, like tips on your cash and tips on the suds. You're gonna want to use the smarts of these stuff, cause they know the brews, and they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks. So listen up, cause shit's not funny, and save yourself some beer money. Bucks and Brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
Brews.
and Brews.
Bucks and Brews.